Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Watchalong for USC's matchup with Northwestern. It's a Friday night. It does not feel like game day, but we're about to watch USC play a game, so better get in the mood right now. We'll start with some injury updates. It looks like Alani Noah is going to start and play at right guard. Obviously, he left the last game with an injury against Nebraska, forcing Kalon Miller into action. It looks like Alani will be available tonight. And then Tanook Hines was apparently questionable, to my surprise. But Connor Morissette of 24/7 Sports says that it looks like he'll play tonight based on how he's warming up. So, we will hopefully get to see Tanook Hines play, likely get to see Alani Noah play. We will not see Wayman Jordan play, although I did see a photo of him without a boot on. So we'll take that. Brian's getting Pac-12 After Dark flashbacks. Yeah, weeknight games have not been kind to USC over the years, although I will say Fridays have been much more kind to USC than Thursdays. From my memory. So
can I pop in here and just say that
that it's a myth? Yeah.
It's not that it's a myth. I just think that the Thursday stuff, I think SC lost 2 games on Thursdays.
They were very meaningful games, Michael.
Sark's last game and the Oregon State game. Yeah.
Wasn't there a Stanford game on Thursday night?
No, I don't think SC has ever played Stanford on Thursday.
Scurrian says, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
That's our buddy Steve in the Bay Area.
Steve in the Bay Area. See, this is why I keep Michael around, because he remembers names. I do not remember names. Joe says, go SC.
He's the guy who went to a game and heard our voices behind him. And
oh, really?
It was his in his backpack, like a speaker was playing the podcast or something. He thought we were sitting behind him.
That's wild. Joe amends himself and says, fight on. Fight on. Sorry, I'm just shooting my tweet out.
Promote yourself, yo.
I will promote myself by telling you all I'm on TikTok. LBC Robbie says, hello, all. Since everyone is already taken. Hello, LBC Robbie. I am on TikTok. I am being active on TikTok. I am making videos. If you are on TikTok, please do me a huge favor and go to TikTok, follow me, and like any videos of mine that you see. That will be very, very helpful to me. I am in a competition with some coworkers, so every view, like, share, comment that I get is a big plus.
Have you thought about doing Roblox content?
If anything, I do K-pop Demon Hunters content, and you don't want to see that. Charbella says, hey, party people. Hey, Charbella. Charbella. Could be Charlotte Bella, maybe. The Grant Productions, Fight On from Chicago, beat the Wildcats. Fight on indeed. Trojans are running out. I am going to refresh my stream so that I'm as up to date as I can possibly be. LBC Robbie says, no TikTok for Robbie. Sorry, Alicia. It's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts.
What is this?
K-Cat says excited to watch along with you.
The hair and the glasses for RG3 makes him look like he's a high schooler.
He looks like he's in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, from the 90s.
I could see it.
Anna is here hoping to get a glimpse of Jesse and Badger as usual. Well, Jesse and Badger are in their crates.
We're trying a new strategy.
We timed their dinner, which they often eat in their crates when we leave, to put them in their crates right when the game started. and hope that they would eat and then settle and then maybe take a nap, and then maybe we'll take them out after at halftime or so. But I can already hear Badger like howling. So we've got white noise on next to his crate, hoping that, because our theory was that he can hear us in this room and gets like mad that he's not with us. So we put the white noise to like block our voices, and it's supposed to be soothing for dogs. So, you know, we'll see. But yeah, we'll see. Joe says,
by the
no
way, I
IG,
didn't
TikTok,
find the-
Twitter, or Facebook, but I'll like you here. Remember, like the video. Like and subscribe. Thank you, too.
I didn't find the white noise comforting for me.
You don't like white noise.
Well,
I like
no,
white
because
noise.
like I put it on and it's just Trader Joe's. Chick-fil-A.
Sean in beautiful Austin, Texas. Now I know who the story's hero is. See, YouTube changed their names, and now I need to like reconnect whose name is with who. So welcome.
Wait, the story's hero is
Sean in beautiful Austin, Texas. Unless there's someone else who is from beautiful Austin, Texas. So yeah. So I just on Twitter, Michael, I just got an ad for Pluribus, the new.
I was going to tell you, Bald Moves revived their Breaking Bad.
Did they for it?
They started a Pluribus podcast, but they did it on the Breaking Bad feed, I believe.
Okay, sweet.
So like I was already subscribed to it, which is cool.
Love it. It already has the new Vince Gilligan show with Ray Seahorn, who is absolutely fantastic. Already has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm so excited. I need to send the watch along link to the Discord as well. Got a few new people in the Discord since we talked about it on the show. So Bert says it's so damn empty. Yeah, I mean, this is par for the course. It's a Friday night. I don't think any of us expected USC to have a strong turnout for this one, to be honest. Yeah. LBC says, Robbie, I'm just going to start calling you Robbie. Robbie says that you're into lo-fi these days for chill music. I love lo-fi. I should listen to lo-fi more often while I'm working. I sort of go through weird phases of what I'm listening to. Scourge says team did not look ready to run out the tunnel. I'm not ready to watch them run out the tunnel.
I just don't know why they would play a game on the same night that Kenny G is in town doing a concert.
Well, there you
He's
go.
at the Cerrito Center tonight.
Fight on Natty says I need to do something about the picture on YouTube. Not hating, just a constructive suggestion. Depend on which picture you're talking about.
The thumbnail with your
I don't
funny
like
thing?
any pictures of me, so it probably is whatever, all of them. Jacoby asks how long till the game starts. Well, the kickoff's about to come. This is the part where I let you guys know that I am watching on Fubo and the stream is behind. So there will be a significant delay. I cannot do anything about the delay, especially because Fubo is what it is, and somebody just took the kick when they should have fair caught the kick, but you do you. There will be a delay. Out of respect for me, Michael, and everybody else in the chat, if something happens in the game, like a score or a sack or something big, hold your comments until you've heard me react to them. Then we'll know that everyone has had time because everyone's watching on different streams. Everyone's watching at different delays. Let's just hold your comment. If you need to write it in to the chat box and then not hit go until I react to it, then that's perfect. But let's try to make sure that we don't spoil the joy of watching the game for everybody. Nice little quick pass to the tight end to start the game. That almost looked like an RPO One of those little short curls from the tight end that I like. So, Daddy says I look like a contestant on The Price is Right. Yeah, everything is awkward. That's all how I feel. I have a back to the pass. One of those little screens to King Miller. That felt like it almost took too long. Like Mayaba put it a little bit too high in the air. Let the defender catch up. It's third down, 3rd and 4-ish from the 24. 3rd and 3. It looks like a long 3. There's the snap. Mayava quick over to Mackay, who breaks a tackle and gets down to the 45. Jacoby says Alicia's the best. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mackay almost doing the Reggie Bush. One arm sleeve. Not exactly, because he's got the shooter sleeve on one arm.
Interesting, yeah.
But both arms he has the
first
the
and 10
undershirt.
from the 44. 24 on the play clock. Oh, I forgot to explain that. There's a handoff, quickly smothered. Okay, what I will try to do to let you guys know where I'm at in the game is before each play, I'll try to let you know where I'm at on the play clock, which seems to be the best way to sort of cue you in about how far behind you are. You can also, some people will delay their own streams to try and like align with mine. If you want to do that, you can try. But if you're wondering why I'm announcing like the down and distance and like the play clock and stuff, I'm just trying to give you guys a clue about where I am in terms of the game. So we're 2nd and 9. There's 17 on the play clock. Although it looks like they may have stopped the clock for something. Is it? So I'm just picking up on Scurry. It's not Scurry. It's S Curry, right? Steve in the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, it's a very SC thing to do.
All right, 32 on the play clock, 2nd and 2.
Like
yes, like scarred or scamper. That's another quick hit to the tight end over the middle, like they should be used. A little high, but Lake McCrew grabs it, and that's why you throw to the tight end. Steve says, I really like your chat about the goal line fades in the Nebraska Fallout pod. Yeah, I thought that was a good discussion. I think you and I try to be reasonable when it comes to play calling and not just say, like, because it didn't work, it's bad. We do like to give the benefit of the doubt, but it's 3rd and 4, 20 on the play clock at the 50. Might run here and see how close you get. Mayava over the middle to Lions. Yes. See, okay. Remember the rant about how you use the tight ends. This is how you use the tight ends. Over the middle, little slants, little curl routes. 1st and 10, here's a play action. And Mayava goes deep to a not open Mackay Lemon. Michael, what would you call the routes like on the is it a stick route?
Oh, well, the stick concept is a 2-route concept.
Okay, so what I'm talking about is like the very short curl. Like it's just like 2-3 yards and then flip. Does that have a different name?
A stop route is doing the same thing, but like you're at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I would say a hitch and a curl.
Hitch, that's what it is.
Like sort of the same thing.
But a hitch is like shorter.
A hitch is short.
10 on the play clock, 2nd and 10 from the 40.
A lot of this is just whatever you want to call it, you know?
There goes King. King is it's 10 yards. It's 10 yards every time. And what I love is that he'll like hit the hole and then he always does the little shimmy to make life difficult for the safety or the linebacker who's coming up, and love it. Steve says the fade does protect the ball against picks, but they seem very low percentage. Yeah, they work sometimes. Like it's not a bad strategy. It's just you got to time it right. 16 on the play clock, 1st and 10 from the 30. Mayaba's throwing high to Jacoby. All right, there you go. I mean, Mayaba has thrown high a couple of times, but he looks way, way more in control than he was against Nebraska. USC is moving the ball pretty easily here, which is good to see. USC does tend to move the ball pretty easily on the first drive, though. So, Sean from beautiful Austin, Texas, with a fixed username, says you need to establish the run. What in the hell? Okay. Mayava maybe making a less than favorable choice when I praised him a little bit too much, I think, maybe. 3rd and 1. You hand off to King here, maybe. They'll think it's coming. I think they're going to do a little screen down to Mackay. They're ready for that. Oh, there you go, King. Oh, he's short. Do you kick?
I think this is a go. Based on the distance,
yeah.
Not based on the distance to go, not based on the distance of the kick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you go for it. 18 on the play clock, 4th and 1.
Is that blood? Blood?
They've got a, look at this jumbo backfield. Is that Kalon? There you go, Mayava. See, that wasn't, that is Kalon, right? 90?
No, 90 is the defensive player. Who's 90?
I need the USC roster up here. That is a much more simple play. This jumbo.
Gus Cordova
is that big at this point? Jesus.
But that
doesn't look like what I remember Gus looking like, but I mean, we knew Gus was big. Well, yeah, there's a picture of him on the roster in the 90. Yeah, Nebraska's got an interesting defense. I think that they play tough in the trenches. That was an issue I keep calling them Nebraska, the Northwestern. That was an issue for Nebraska as well. Sean wants us to shout out the Rant Line number. The one I saved doesn't go to y'all anymore. Michael, I only remember the last
818-643-7227.
That's a catch and a PI. Hopefully a defensive PI, but there's Jacoby. Some tough catches being made so far today after a pretty not impressive day from USC's wide receivers against Nebraska. Joe says, I'm holding my tape to align with your time. I think that's what I would do in my position. In your position, that's what I would do. That's what I do when I am watching like a watch along with for Big Brother or whatever with my guy Taryn. Yeah, that was pass interference. It was a good catch too from Jacoby. USC needs him to do that. 20 on the play clock, 1st and goal. Here comes Mackay on a roll out there at the 7. Little sidearm to Mackay, wide receiver screen, but they've got it covered. Yeah, Robbie thinks they're being too cute. I don't mind it. I would say that play might be very much just
they run that's part of the offense. I'm a big proponent of just run your offense. That's part of the offense.
But it is another and goal pass to start, and now you put yourself in a weird position. But there's Mackay. He's gonna get there. Got it. Touchdown. Mackay 11. Easy money. I love the way he lowers his shoulder here too, because I wasn't sure he was gonna get there. He just make sure that the defense isn't going to be able to get to him. It's a nice little pick by Jacoby, but we won't talk too much about that. Grant says, I think they're taking what they're being given. Yeah, I mean, everything. This was a good drive. USC converted a bunch of third downs, kept it pretty simple. Maaba looked good. The wide receivers made some tough catches. Everybody was really doing their part there. Can't really complain about a drive like that. That's an ideal way to start the game. You kill so much clock. Half the quarter's already over.
The half the quarter thing is wild. Like, that's an ideal Northwestern drive.
Yeah, considering their time of possession. Yeah.
16 plays, 82 yards, 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Jesus.
Yep. That'll do. Now more of that, please. That's, to me, the big thing about that is, like, that's got to be a demoralizing drive for that defense.
Well, especially because, like, it's not like there were any chunk plays. You know what I mean?
No, that was an extremely Alicia drive. Like that.
Yeah.
That's how I run my offense. A lot of RPOs, a lot of quick passes, a lot of just taking what's there. If you're going to sit off 5 yards on my receiver, I'll take the 4 yards that you give me. If you don't stack the box, I'll run the ball straight into you. I will hit the tight ends over the middle over and over and over and over again. And literally in my game, I played my bowl game against Colorado last night. One of the touchdowns that I scored was literally that play with my receiver just running that out right in front of the goal line. Easy money. Love it.
Should we press the button?
Press the button. Touchdown Trojans. There it is. Robbie says, ran a lot of plays to take up half their quarter. Not sure that was the game plan, but I'll take it. Yeah, I doubt the game plan was to take that long, but I think taking what's there, being efficient is probably the game plan at all times. I mean, they did try to take a shot, but that wasn't really there. I agree, Robbie, about the turning into your parents. Fantastic.
I love the one with the, I know, she's got purple hair, but we're not looking. We're not commenting.
Yeah, there's so many. I am so like my parents, too. Like, I feel attacked by those ads. I'm not quite as embarrassing as my parents yet, though.
Alicia, I'm really disappointed that you're not caught up on Survivor. Because I want to talk about the exit interview that RHAP had with the person. Because, I can't tell you. But
okay.
There are things.
I went on a backpacking trip and fell behind on Survivor, and I have not caught up because my brain just doesn't.
Well, I'll put it this way. The person that left doesn't have TikTok and was on a tribe where everybody else had TikTok and would talk about TikTok trends. And this person said that, like, when they talked about TikTok, they'd just be like, well, I'm just going to go and get firewood.
So I can imagine who it was.
I'm not from, there's a lot of people who don't have TikTok.
That's true. A lot of people in this chat don't have TikTok.
Yeah.
Sean says Alicia breaks the NCAA record for tight end touchdowns every year. I wish. I don't spam my players enough, apparently. Like, my tight end gets good usage, but he's not even up there. Like, he wasn't even in for the Mackey Award. Like, Iliam says at least they came ready to play today. Offense did. We shall see what the defense. Did they really just do a kickoff commercial? Really, Fox?
Blame the long drive. They're probably so far behind on commercials right now.
Yeah. Well, it's a good time to talk about. I am enjoying a Colorado Bulldog. My drink of choice tonight. Actually, it's a unique Colorado Bulldog because it's cherry Coke, not just regular Coke in there. So that's good.
I believe that's called a Red Colorado.
Hey.
That's an oxymoron.
Why?
Well, it's not an oxymoron. No, it's redundant. It's not an oxymoron.
Red Colorado. Yeah.
Hey, can I get one of those water awas?
Ilium wants to know what a Colorado Bulldog is. A Colorado Bulldog is, very simply, you take a White Russian and you top it with Coke or a cola. So, like, I make a White Russian and then I pour a topper of Coke on it. White Russians are one of my favorite drinks. And while we were on a work trip at this like golf resort, the bartender there, like I was ordering White Russians, and she's like, "Have you ever had a Colorado Bulldog?" And I was like, "I don't know what that is." And she's like, "Well, I just put some Coke on top of that." And I was like, "Yes, please." And then it's like a root beer float kind of feel.
Oh, my favorite was you trying to explain it to
the cruise
server on the cruise.
Yeah, on the cruise, I was like, "Can I get a Colorado Bulldog?" And they just looked at me weird, and I was like, so it's just make me a White Russian and then put a splash of Coke on top." And they were like, "Oh, okay." Alberto asked, "What's a White Russian?" I don't know if you're being serious right now. Equal parts vodka, Kahlua, and cream. That's a White Russian.
Also known as gross.
Also known as wonderful. My favorite. Okay, how do I... There we go. Do not disturb. Bradley Noel from Sublime. His drink was a White Russian. Yeah, so was the dude. So I'm in good company. Did I miss a commercial that Ilium is talking about? There's a terrible looking Tubi soap opera set at USC with USC football. I did not know that this was a thing. 20 on the play clock, 1st and 10 for Northwestern. They hand the ball off, and that's a run stuff. There you go. Not too bad. Start out with, is that Keyshawn Silver in the center there? Alberto sticks to bourbon or whiskey. I do like a whiskey sour. I just don't have any simple syrup or lemon.
Okay.
17 on the play clock. Northwestern's at the 27. Well, there's a blitz from Desmond Stevens. All right, so it's going to be 3rd and 2-ish. Robbie's got Maker's Mark. That was my brother's drink for a long time. Alberto says, "Good to see Silver playing boss." Yeah, I think USC needs to use a bigger front more often. I think Silver, you got to find a way to get Silver to work out. I think he got it. It's going to be close. No, I think they're giving it to him. Hold on. Where was he down? Yeah, I think he got it. If the line to gain was at that white line, then it was. 1st and 10, 19 on the play clock. Oh! I thought Gentry got a piece of that. I heard like a sound. Steve asked, "Is there any word on when Wayman Jordan may be back?" No, but we saw that picture of him in the pregame not wearing a boot anymore. I think Chris Trevino tweeted it out. It was like a 4 to 6 weeks kind of thing. So, how many weeks has it been? It's been like 3 weeks.
I've always imagined that if you get him back, it's for the bowl game.
Yeah.
If you can get him back for the Oregon game, that'd be nice. But even still, that seems rough to
hand off. And there's a big gain. Northwestern got the memo that you just keep running it. Keep running, keep running. Yeah. See, and this is why it's hard to it's hard to argue for Keyshawn Silver when he gets bodied out of the way like that. Like that ain't it. 13 on the play clock. Well, 11 now. Northwestern's across midfield. That's a hold. On Kamari got pulled around, I guess. I don't know. Looked like a hold to me, but what do I know? Yeah, I just don't enjoy watching USC's defense play. Just really don't enjoy it. 36, 16 on the play clock. Another handoff. Just another 5-yard gain. Alberto says you can't blame Silver for that. It wasn't. I mean, there's a lot of issues with that run. You know, a linebacker should be there to stuff it, but it's just, you know, again, Silver shouldn't be getting moved like that. Brian says, meet the new boss, same as the old boss when it comes to the refs, yeah. 10 on the play clock, 1st and 10 from the 31. See, if I was playing USC's defense, I might run the ball 60 times. Like, I would literally just keep running. I would
though, mind you, I mean, this, maybe Michigan is a prime example of this, though. I just think that SC's defense can have success when a team is very one-dimensional, right? And the Michigan game, I think, is an example of that. But at the same time, also their running backs average 5 yards a carry. So if they would have just given the ball to the running backs the entire game, they could have maybe withstood that.
Yeah, get there! Forcing Preston Stone to throw is absolutely what USC wants to do. My hot take about the Michigan game remains that Michigan's game plan was trash. Michigan should have just been running the ball. Michigan should have run the ball 60 times that game. I do not know why they didn't. I mean, I'm glad they didn't because that was a really fun game. But Sagar has arrived. Hello, Sagar. It's 3rd and 5. 3rd and 6? I don't have a play clock. 8 on the play clock. Big down for USC. This is Northwestern's problem. Get there! What I was about to say is that Northwestern's problem is they get into the red zone and they have to settle for field goals. Which, if you're USC's defense and you're taking what you can get, that's how, like, if you just hold them to field goals, you're going to win this game easily. Are you going to call? Okay, they're not going to call the hold. That's fine. I don't even feel like commenting whenever I see a hold. Like, there's no point. Albert says, I don't usually worry about the first 2 drives because you have to see what they're comfortable lining up in and offensively and defensively. I would agree with that, except for USC's defense, because we simply haven't seen them make adjustments consistently enough for, like, anything to change between the first, second, or third drive. It's just my opinion. 10 on the play clock, 2nd and goal from the 7. There's a keeper for a Wildcat quarterback, I think. I don't think that was Stone. Over on the Discord, Saman is asking Richard when we're going to get the K-pop Demon Hunters halftime show. And I am very invested in this question.
Unsubscribe.
All right, 10 on the play clock, 3rd and goal from the 4. Touchdown Northwestern. That was too easy. Why does USC play off that far? I do not know. Yeah, Alberto says, I don't really like Lynn's scheme. This is not Wink Martindale or what was run in Baltimore since he comes from that tree. I don't understand anything about this scheme. It just, whatever. We could talk about personnel, but like by now your personnel situation should be fixed. Or at least partially fixed to a degree that it hasn't been. Unless the evaluation on Silver and Jarrett was so bad that they couldn't, that they assumed that they had a nose tackle in there. USC is missing a Jay Toya, like their life depended on it. Iliam 7 wisely gave him a 5-yard cushion on that goal line play. Yeah, we love a 5-yard cushion when the other team needs to gain 2 yards. I don't understand. I'm starting to think that the USC DC position is like the defense against the dark arts position in Hogwarts. Like, it's just cursed. USC has had good defensive coordinators come to USC and become their worst version of themselves.
Can we discuss really quick here? The score is 7-7 with each team having a 7-minute touchdown drive. We're on pace.
This is going to be the fastest game in history?
The fastest game in history, although Fox is going to do their damnedest to give us a million freaking commercials here.
Yeah, there's talk of the pick play in the chat. I agree with Brian. Like, Northwestern ran a pick play there too, but like USC can't complain about the EOPI there when Jacoby didn't get called for it on Mekhi Lemon's touchdown. For me, consistency. I just want to see consistency from the refs. If you're not going to call it on one, don't call it on the other. Be fair. Alberto says Silver and Jarrett aren't bad, but we get guys double teamed way too often, meaning linebackers play back way too much, and we don't stunt to fix being doubled. We play straight up a lot along the defensive line. Yeah, I think that's a good observation. I think that USC's linebackers outside of Eric Gentry also just play timid, which certainly doesn't help. But it just feels like USC loses that battle on the defensive line. And by this point, I would like them to try something different, whether that's stunting or changing the front or, doing something. It's just been very frustrating that it's the same old, which is my response to Robbie in the chat. It's one drive. All of us have to stop jumping off the 100th floor every defensive mishap. This is a totally fair take. Totally fair, except like it's the first drive after having watched how many defensive drives over the last few weeks. I will give them the benefit of the doubt when they earn it. This drives 14-15 in game time. 300 GJW says, super chat. Thank you for that, by the way. I will give you a salute in a second. I thought it was a block in the back on the Silver pressure. I mean, I've seen multiple holds, blocks in the back. Like, it's been, cheers. It's been, you got to be able to either accentuate those things. They are not kicking to USC. Oh, let's go. 51. Who's 51? He enjoyed carrying that ball. Ryan Quintanar. He's a walk-on linebacker. Looks like a tight end. That kid used to be a tight end. Although 5'10", I don't know that he was a high school tight end.
That guy is now going to be in the stat book for the rest of his life.
Yes. Yeah. That's awesome.
$17-yard return too. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to kick to I don't even know who's back there if it's Mackay. If you don't want to kick to Mackay, that's fine, but like that is counterproductive what they did. Saints World says it's simple math, 3D line against 5 O-line plus one time tight end getting outnumbered up front. Yeah. Which like again brings me back to why I don't understand again, it comes back to like the adjustment, you know? If you're getting outnumbered on the line and you're relying on your linebackers to fill the gaps and your linebackers do not fill the gaps, then like, why aren't you bringing extra men into the box? Why aren't you using a different front? You know, and it's not like it's like, well, we got to protect the secondary because the secondary is going to get ripped apart anyways. Like, I don't know. There's a reason there. Alberto with the super chat.
Let's go.
That's never done this, but F it. I love these watch-alongs. Thank you very much, Alberto. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to say, I think I've said this before, the watch-alongs have been a very pleasant surprise for me this year. I did not think I would enjoy them this much. So it's been actually a bummer that we haven't been able to do them for so long, and it will be a bummer next week when we don't get to do it for the Iowa game, but we will be literally in the air during that game.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch the game on airplane Wi-Fi.
Wish us luck.
Send prayers.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun.
It's going to be one of those things where the pilot is like, we're at an altitude of and coming in down to the weather, and then you're just going to hear Alicia in the background, come on, King! Come on, King!
I'm trying. There's so many ways I could pronounce this name. Entantar. I like Entantar. You got to correct me if I need to be doing something different. But Entantar says, I think Lynn used the first series to see what he could get away with up front. I sure hope so.
Hold on. Entantar, very close to Ryan Quintanar.
Hey! Related? John asked, do you guys ever attend any home games? I'll answer that in a second. 17 on the play clock, 1st and 10.
Never been. I wonder what the Coliseum's like.
Go on, King. We used to. Michael and I used to cover the team. We had credentials for several years. I would take photos. He would sit up in the press box when we were doing coverage for RainaTroy.com. Unfortunately, I got a new job where I work on the national news desk and do not have Saturdays free anymore. Oh, Nick. Okay, Entantar is Nick. I know. Yeah, okay, thank you. Again, if you're... What the... Oh, my God. My Alva. What are we doing? So YouTube changed like the way that the names display. So there's just some people like we're seeing screen names that we haven't seen before. So that makes more sense that you're Nick. That's good to know. Sorry, do we ever go to home games? So I got a new job. I have to work on Saturdays covering college football at large. And so we can't really get to home games anymore, really. I would like that to change at some point. I just do not know when or how that would happen. But John asks, any advice going to the Iowa game next week? What advice would we give? Park and walk. if you can. Park by, what's that school that we always used to park by, Michael?
Oh, wait, hold on. Are you talking about my dad's bit? Park by, like, Clinton Middle School or whatever that is?
Yes.
Don't do that. Like,
I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah. You're walking a million years.
It's good to walk sometimes. I mean, get there early. I would say get there early. Watch the band.
If you can go on campus.
Yeah, go on campus.
Homecoming is great because every club, every sport, every club sport has a booth. When I was a kid, I loved it. I would go to the basketball booth and get a poster, and all the basketball players would sign the posters, the men's and the women's, and it was cool. You go see like the polo team, and like you're like, oh, there's a
polo team.
Oh my god, they have an onion tasting team or whatever. I mean, not probably not, but like you know what I mean. Like they're just like random things that you just never knew existed.
Yeah,
which is always cool.
Another cheers to Alberto.
Let's go.
I've watched it for 2 years now, but you're slowly becoming the podcast for SC Talk. Congratulations, because you're both doing a hell of a job. Thank you.
Can we rename the pod The Reign of Troy?
The Reign of Troy. I love it. Grant says, "Be ready for Iowa Black Magic." Yeah, a little bit.
I'm excited for this strictly because in my head, Iowa Black Magic is isolated to Kinnick Stadium. Like in my head, Iowa is like the Big Ten's Utah, in which like you play Utah at Rice Eccles, and it's like that is a freaking snake pit. You don't want to go in there. Like it's great atmosphere. It's an intimidating place in that sense, but like also it's just a hard place to play, and they're a pain in the ass team and all that kind of stuff. But if you get them at home, they're more manageable. That's what I have in my head. I also say this knowing that SC lost the last 2 games at home to Utah, so maybe that doesn't matter. But you know what I mean.
John asked, are the homecoming booths right near the stadium? So they would be on campus, which is the Coliseum is like.
Mind you, I have not been on campus for a homecoming game in like a decade.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. They could be moved, but like they're usually on campus on Childs or Drowsdale.
Yeah. So the way I would do it is if you can get there early enough and get parking on campus. Although to be fair, I do not know how the parking works anymore for this, but if you can park close to campus or on campus, go on campus, walk through Truesdale, walk through the quads, and like just see everything that's there. What time does the band do their?
Used to be an hour and a half back when I was a kid. Now I think it's 2 hours.
So 2 hours before you can see the band.
10:30 will be.
It'll be pretty early for the.
Yeah, I think call time is like 10:15 or something like that. But at Heritage Hall. But
the way to do it, okay, so you go to campus and you walk around. You get to see campus. It's wonderful, and then you walk towards Exposition. Where's the Where's the flagpoles?
Exposition.
3rd and 6. 20 on the play clock. Handoff. Oof. King had nowhere to run. Nowhere.
Yeah, and then you just walk up the walkway.
Make sure you hit the flagpoles, walk across through the Rose Garden.
Either through the Rose Garden or in the walkway between the Rose Garden and the Natural History Museum.
Yeah. Either way. And then you get to the Coliseum and then you enjoy. My advice, if you're a USC fan and you appreciate history and aura and all that kind of stuff, my advice is always like get there early and get inside the Coliseum early. Whoa! Whoa, Sam Johnson, what a throw! What a ballsy play! Hello? This looks like a freaking former quarterback. That's beautiful. Incredible. Love it.
This is funny because I just saw a TikTok with Brad Wing, the LSU punter. Remember he had that long punt run and then it was taken off the board because he celebrated on the way to the end zone?
Oh, I hate that.
And it was like the first time that had been done.
Yeah.
The backstory to that play was insane. One of the other players on the special teams unit.
All right, there's a nice gainer to Mackay.
Well, one of the players on the special teams unit told him that he's like they pull away so fast you can just run it if you get it, and he's like, what? And the special teams player tells the special teams coach, and the special teams coach is like, F that, you got to go punt the ball.
There's a keeper from Mayava. Yes.
Can we talk about how Mayava's the most ungraceful runner?
He is. He looks like a giraffe running. Just a reminder for folks in the chat, I am on a delay. Others in the chat are on a delay. So if something happens in the game, please delay your response until it's like clear that I've seen it or that there's been time for it to come around. I'll try to say what's going on in the game so you can know where I'm at. But just hold your reactions so that you don't spoil anything. Here's a handoff to King, a couple yards. Sorry, I'll say John. John says, thank you so much for the advice. Fight on, fight on. Last bit of advice is get in early. Like, don't be afraid to get in like 45 minutes early and just enjoy the Coliseum. Just go find your seat, sit down, lean back, just enjoy taking in the sights and sounds, enjoy watching the warm-ups. You get to see the band come in. Like, I think it's magical that like hour before the game personally, but throw it away, Mayava. Oh, well, okay. That works too. There's one for King. All right, 3rd and goal. 37 on the play clock. Starting early. Sean asks, when's the last time USC had a fake punt? I cannot remember.
It's been a couple years. I think the last one was a run, but it's been a couple years because I think we talked about it last year that Chapliski had earned one, but didn't get one.
Like he should have had one?
Like in other words, he won the Ray Guy. Like he earned being able to do one.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, 10 on the play clock. 3rd and 6. Here's Mayaba breaking free. Touchdown. There. Thank you, Mayaba. Run like that. Touchdown. Be dynamic. Don't be afraid to look like a weird giraffe running because you can get to the goal line like that. This is such a demoralizing situation for a defense. For a quarterback to get away like this and then just barrel. And that's a great block to give him that space from Brian Jackson.
Maybe don't drop your shoulder to drive into the end zone, though.
Grant says, I'm on the actual TV broadcast. You are nearly 2 minutes behind. I know. I'm sorry. But, like, Fubo's like a minute behind, and then the YouTube stream will be, however long behind, too. So, John's going to get at the gates when they open, and you got seats in row 5. Beautiful. So you'll even get a great view of warm-ups. You'll be nice and close, and you'll get to see everybody. The weather should be nice. It's just, I think you'll have a good time. Ilias, he runs like Matt Leinart. He's like a faster Matt Leinart. But yes, just as uncomfortable.
He's effective. Like, I feel weird, like, critiquing his gait, but, like, because he's effective as a runner. Like it's not like saying that he shouldn't be running. He should be running. He's just like for someone who is so effective, it's just not. It's not a.
Just does
not
not
a pretty
look like
trot.
He wants to be.
Yeah.
Ordinary Adonis says not able to tune in yet on my way home. How's the D looking? Obviously scored on, but was it a broken play or a drive? Well, we've only seen one drive. It was not a broken play. They ran the ball really well and just got down. Had 1 or 2 like 3rd down conversions that were a good play, and then they just got down to the goal line and scored on a little out route.
Wait, did you mention the punt?
What? Oh, USC faked a punt.
You're talking about the defense.
He was asking about the defense. Yeah. You missed a fake punt, Adonis. You missed a punt, so that was fun. I mean, fake punt. It was fun. But yeah, we've only seen one drive from the defense, and it was not super encouraging, I will say. Brian said he ran more gracefully at UNLV, talking about Mayava. I mean...
You know what it is? It's like
the uniforms, maybe.
It's like a power forward who is driving to the lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I don't know, he just looks like his legs are
he runs like Badger.
He does run like Badger. All legs, just like his whole body rocks.
Badger does this thing that we call kerplunking, where every single time he goes to lay down, it's like a big kerplunk. Because like he goes up.
Where Jessie's this like dainty little, like she'll like daintily sit down, and then when
Very
she wants
graceful.
to slide down, she'll just like daintily slide down. Where Badger is like, once he gives out his legs, it's just like
You
all the way
literally
down.
hear his elbows banging on
Yes.
the floor.
That was very fun doing the fake fun. Ballsy, because if that fails, we are pissed. Lawrence asks, anyone else reading the rumors about looking at other jobs? Thoughts? Yeah, I find it hard to believe that Riley would leave USC for somewhere like Florida or LSU. He's got a lot of resources at USC. They just invested massively in this recruiting class. He's already done the rebuild stuff. He's got things in place. Theoretically, he should be able to, break through this year, next year. He's in a good spot at USC if he can do his job well. Leaving for Florida, that's a full rebuild, complete rebuild. And LSU is what LSU is. Like, LSU fired Brian Kelly for winning 9 games a season, So I find it very difficult to believe that he would leave unless the NFL comes calling. My guess might be that if there is this chatter from like his agent's perspective, it might be like a, hey, NFL, I'm interested. Come get me. But otherwise, I don't see that happening. 10 on the play clock, 1st and 10 for Northwestern from the 25.
I will say I see the appeal of moving from SC to LSU because I think LSU, along with like LSU, Georgia, of the non like Alabama schools, those are probably the 2 schools with like 2 of the extreme highest ceilings. I mean, SC's up there absolutely too. So I could see that if they are going to pay you the same amount of money, I could see how it could make sense to go there if you're Lincoln Riley. However, I don't understand why LSU would do that.
No. Jesus. Big run.
I think Florida would make more sense from Florida's perspective, but Florida would make less sense from Lincoln Riley's perspective.
Yes. Joe says we'd lose our number 1 recruiting class, set us back 10 years again. I disagree. I think we need to remember that recruiting class was put together by Chad Bowden. I know that they are committing to play for Lincoln Riley and his staff, but I don't think that it's a given that if Riley left or was fired, which I don't think he will be, or I don't think he won't leave, but I think if Riley was gone, obviously USC will lose a few guys from that class, but I don't think the class falls apart in the way that we're talking about like that. Good. No way. God damn. I thought Nicholson played that well. I want to see a replay of that because I really thought Nicholson played that well. So yeah. So and the other thing is, like, let's say hypothetically, I don't think this happens, but hypothetically, Riley leaves for LSU. USC turns around and says, "Hey, Kiffin, come." If Lane Kiffin comes to USC, is USC losing that recruiting class? I don't think so. 2nd and 5, 8 on the play clock. I'm just not even going to mention Holsey anymore. Yeah, Lauren says, I'm not worried about Riley leaving. Bowden will keep the class together and Cohen will hire a great coach. That's kind of where I'm at. But I will preface all of this. I do not think it makes sense for Riley to leave unless he wants to leave for the NFL. and I do not think it makes sense for USC to fire him. So this is all just sort of more hypothetical talk in my head than anything. 10 on the play clock, 1st and 10 from the 45.
The other thing in terms of the LSU thing is, if he wanted the LSU job,
Mike Murray,
would he not have taken that 4 years ago?
When the USC thing,
because he was their top target, at least publicly. So he chose SC over LSU before. Mind you, again, like maybe he'd want to just start over and take a lateral move that way, to just start over and not go take a step back.
I mean, if he doesn't like working with Bowden and Cohen, like that would make sense, but we don't really have indication of that. So 2nd and 4, 8 on the play clock. Northwestern is just moving the ball way too easily. Jesus. Oh, there's a big run. He's going to get there. Just short. That was an impressive hurdle from the referee. I will give him that, from the side judge. Joe says Lane got tarmacked by USC, would never come back. I disagree. I think Lane Kiffin is a petty enough person to want to come back to USC to prove to Pat Hayden that he made a mistake. No, he's short. I think that Kiffin is the kind of person who would like take on that challenge. I think he would embrace that challenge. Also, his daughter is a freshman at USC now. So 5 on the play clock. 1st and goal from the 2. Here's a handoff. Short or not?
I just pulled up these comments. Joe saying Lane would never come back, immediately followed by Brian saying Lane would come back tomorrow. Like, it's so good.
Lauren says, I think Riley is family oriented. Some of it depends on whether they like living in LA PV. This is a very good thing. I think the thing that people don't consider a lot of times with all these is that families are part of the equation. And yep, touchdown. The family thing is absolutely a factor. If they like being in LA, then that's different. If they don't like being in LA, then yeah, maybe moving to Baton Rouge makes sense. Maybe moving to Gainesville makes sense. We know that his wife is from Florida, right?
Alicia, that was
that a joke?
That was a joke.
I'm sorry. Jason asks, is Northwestern's O-line made up of 5 NFL players? No, it is not. It is not. Was that? I don't know what just happened.
Silver got caught up in the swinging gate.
Yeah, offsides or encroachment, whatever they want to. If you get these yardage, do you go for it?
You could say probably. It's not like it's not a bad go. Half the distance. And now they just don't even bother with the swinging gate, which means this is going to be a fake.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Liang says this defense is giving me heartburn. Me too. Me too. Me too. Somebody earlier was saying, I need to go back. I think was it Albert? Somebody was talking about Coach Henney. Albert said, I remember when we hired Coach Henney, I was told by a mentor of mine who spent 15 years in the league that he was not one of the best 10 D-line coaches in the league, despite what we were told. He's certainly not coaching this defensive line like he's one of the best defensive line coaches in the country. It's been a huge disappointment, to be honest. But then again, every element of the defense has been a huge disappointment. Except for the safeties, I think every single unit has just looked bad. Joe says, I thought it was the chili dog I ate that was giving me heartburn. No, it was definitely USC's defense. Yeah, 300 GJW says the makings of a 42-41 loss. The one reason I'm not necessarily at that level of panic is just that, you know, eventually, theoretically, USC will have to start stacking the box in a more extreme kind of way and forcing, like, you have to force Preston Stone to beat you. And if you do that, if it comes down to whether or not I'm banking on Mayava or Stone making more plays, it's Mayava. So in that sense, like, if this is a shootout, it should still be USC's game. The problem is this should not be a shootout. Like, it's just USC should not find themselves in a position to be in a shootout with Northwestern, you know?
Well, the over is about to hit on Northwestern points.
Yeah. Lauren says the problem with the defense is that the DC had 1 year of experience as a DC before we hired him. We hired a lottery ticket that could have been great but had no proven track record. Yes, and we said this at the time. You know, it was either going to be a really good hire or a risk. This was just the necessary risk of it. I didn't mind the hire at the time, so I'm not going to sit here and say that USC really like screwed the pooch there, but clearly it has not worked out in the way that they hoped. And that's the thing about coaching is every coaching hire is like a 50-50 prospect. And like Iliam says, we got turned down by the real candidates we offered, and Lynn was the best we could hire. It did seem like USC went after other guys and didn't get the job done. Now, is that because USC didn't do a good enough job of enticing them, or because they didn't want to come coach with Lincoln Riley, or what? I don't know. But yeah, I think it's very frustrating that Lynn has been this disappointing. What I don't understand about USC's defense in general, not just even Lynn, like it was Lynn, Todd Orlando, Alex Grinch, all these guys, like, they've been the worst version of themselves. Oh, wait! Did they?
They dressed Sam Hewer in the 80s?
It was Sam Hewer throwing. No wonder it looked like a good pass. Well, now it doesn't look as good of a pass. It was a good pass for a punter, but Sam Hewer's a quarterback. Mayaba, yes! There goes Lake McCree. I love it. Insane Sports Take says, at some point the defense doesn't fall on the defensive coordinator. It falls on Lincoln Riley, the head coach himself. That's where I'm at. Like, at a certain point, if every single one of the defensive coordinators that you hire is catastrophically bad, then it's something about you. Like, you are the problem. So here comes Mayaba. Quick under to this Lane, I think? Or Tanook? No, Mackay. Got him. Oh, I love that. Joe says, I don't see us outbidding SEC schools for Kiffin. Now, that is a valid concern. 2nd and 8, 17 on the play clock. Keeper. Deep. Oh! Tanook?
No.
They called a touchdown.
Tight ends far. I mean, the lineman is
illegal man downfield.
extremely downfield. Damn. Jonah. Or Justin. Tonu.
Damn.
look how far down field he is. It's real bad. Like, this is not like the one against Illinois.
Okay, my hot take is you shouldn't call that when when the pass is thrown, he's back at the line of scrimmage. Right?
It was
again,
funny.
It has no impact on the play. I hate when that gets called, and it has no impact on the outcome of the play.
It's hilarious that like he notices it. Like, gotta get back.
Yep. There's a discussion about Kiffin and like how much it would take to get him. I do think that like this is what you can't fire Riley and then go get Kiffin. You're just tied up with too much money. But if Riley left and you're suddenly free of this, $80 million weight that's around your neck, you could afford Kiffin. Now, do you want to pay another coach a contract like the one you gave Lincoln Riley and put yourself right back into this potential position? That's a question. But I do think the money would be there. Especially because LSU doesn't really have the freedom to do that, I think. Florida's maybe different. So I just think it's fun. Like, I think it's funny that we spend so much time talking about this when this is like absolutely not happening. But I do think it's an interesting conversation, sort of like interesting scenarios. This Venmo commercial is weird. Alberto says Lane's defenses aren't good. He runs a base 3-2-6 with Golding. I'm good on that, dog. I mean, this is where I come in and say that, like, I don't know who this person is. I think Michael knows who he roots for here, but I have spent too much of my life seeing USC coached by offensive coaches. I think it is easier to find a good offensive coordinator than it is to find a matching defensive coordinator, and I would hire a defense-minded head coach personally. But again, I don't know who this person is. Michael would say Jesse Minter, I think. But
Jesse Minter, the reason I'm on the Jesse Minter train is if you look at the profile of the successful guys in the last, this century, right? Bob Stoops, national championship winning defensive coordinator. Dan Lanning, national championship winning defensive coordinator.
Kirby
Smart, national championship winning defensive coordinator. Like, that is a very good profile. The problem is you also have like guys like Jeremy Pruitt who end up being real bad, right?
Yeah.
Charlie Strong was somebody who was good and then he wasn't, right? Like, so every sort of profile is a risk, but I think it's a risk that gives you the highest ceiling. And in looking at it right now, the guy that makes the most sense fitting that profile is Jesse Minter. He's the defensive coordinator for Harbaugh with the Chargers. He won the national championship at Michigan 2 years ago. And I think since he's in the NFL right now, I think it's really easy to forget him compared to like, well, who are Kirby's guys? Who are, Marcus Freeman's guys, etc. So that's why I'm on Minter. Plus, he's in LA. You can go interview him. 15 to
24 on the play clock second.
An hour, depending on traffic.
Mrs. Mackay again. Brian says, did you hear Penn State turn down Urban Meyer? Yeah, I would turn down Urban Meyer too. Like, you realize that Urban Meyer, like, the last time Urban Meyer was a head coach was like 8 years ago. A college head coach was like 8 years ago. And he had 1 year in the NFL in between that, and it was a disaster. 3rd and 12, 16 on the play clock. Kalon's back in there. You can't take the sack. Jesus.
Alberto says, I don't want anyone that cheats the game is on the
that's
staff. That's totally valid. And admittedly, not something I thought about and probably should have thought about. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
He also has a show clause, but the show clause is over.
Yeah.
Wait, no. The show cause was given 6 months ago, and it's a 1 year thing. So that means, could he even be hired? I don't know.
That was a terrible sack to take. Terrible sack. Okay, this big drive for the defense. Big drive. Good thing is, a lot of times this is when, even when your defense is struggling, like this is when they would get the stop. They're going to get it, but yeah, if we let them bookend the halves, it would be very bad. This game is also why, like, I think I say this all the time. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm saying this like earnestly. 18 on the play clock, 1st and 10. Oh, Bishop almost got in there. I think it is reasonable to question why in year 4 USC is where it is, in the sense of, like, we shouldn't be looking at this as like a 9-3 is your best hope. And I'm not even sure that 9-3 even happens. Because if you play like this against Northwestern, you can absolutely lose to Iowa and UCLA. 11 on the play clock. Like, and I think Iowa's a team who will also come in to the Coliseum and say, screw it, we're just going to run the ball a million times. I just, like, and it's not about the record. It's not about, any of that. Because there's a universe where USC has the same record as he had, and that you can sort of see progress, and that you can sort of understand why things are the way that they are. And I am at the point where I don't think it is justifiable to be where USC's at. 3rd and 8 on the play clock. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's short. There's a stop. See? There you go. Illiam asks, does the buyout work both ways? I don't know. A lot of times the buyout on the coach's end is smaller, like a smaller percentage.
You also have to factor in that
Like
a contract is, you're only beholden to the contract if they want to.
Yeah, USC could let him go.
Yeah,
like USC could say
they could forego the terms of the contract.
Yes, absolutely. Mackay, fair catches. If I'm Bowden and Cohen, and Riley comes to me and says, hey, I want to go to Florida, I say, do you need help packing your bags? But that's just me. All right, defense got the stop that USC needed, so great timing on that. USC can go down here, just close out this half. 21 on the play clock. So handoff to King. Oh, almost got through. Yeah, USC is having a hard time getting this run game going. Joe says we would need money to hire another. I think USC could get the money.
It's easier to get the money when you're not paying the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're not paying the buyout.
For yeah.
Riley. But yeah, I mean, ideally, if that was the case, you have Florida pay the buyout and go from there.
Jesus Christ, my Abba! Did he fumble out of the back of the end zone? Is this about to be the bailout of the century? I don't know. Oh, I need to see this replay. Oh my God. Okay. He's in bounds. In freaking credible. In freaking credible. Jaden Mayaba throws an interception and then forces a fumble out of the back of the end zone. This is the biggest bailout in the history of mankind. This is a bigger bailout than USC would be getting if Florida hired Lincoln Riley. There you go. Go, King! Go, 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 go! Go, 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 go! Oh, oh my God. Okay. Whew. What is even happening? Finally, you get a run. What is going on? I'm going to pass out. The lineman tripping himself up. I don't even know who that was. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know. I have no words. Guys, I have no words. I have no words. That was certainly the funniest sequence of the season. Joe says if you came back from the bathroom, it's a lot. Yeah. I cannot get over the lineman tripping himself and falling. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. I need another drink. I don't. On Discord, Trent just said, it really begs the question why our QB hits better than any defender on the team. Oh my God. Sean in beautiful Austin, Texas. A fake punt and an interception touchback. Damn. This is college football, guys. This is why we love college football, because it's absolutely stupid. What a sequence. Joe's going to make a coffee with a Jameson right now. Yeah. USC just went from like a catastrophic pick six to like a sequence of plays that might just decide the game. Like Los Pocos says, Freaky Friday football. It feels like it, man. This is absolutely absurd. I really need a replay of that King Miller run. I really need. We're not gonna get it because these stupid commercials that are just dragging this game out. But they haven't shown a replay of how bad the interception was, too. Like, there's so many replays that we're not getting. Is that, what's his face? 20 on the play clock. USC's at the 25. Oh, that was Fleetwood. That makes sense. And wow, okay. Okay, Jacoby. Alberto says, what's your take on our two best receivers? I think Lane is better than Lemon. Convince me why he's not. I think Lane has a higher ceiling than Lemon, but Lemon is a better receiver at this stage in his career. He gets open. He does a better job of running routes, getting open, catching the ball. Lane is still slightly unreliable. Like, Lane has dropped too many balls for me to say that he's better than Lemon. But he's very dangerous, and he's got, sky's the limit for him. I just don't think he's as polished as Lemon is. Here's a handoff. King! Touchdown, King. This hole. Look at that hole. Noah and McCree opening that up after pulling. That is beautiful. Man, can we just talk about how good King is? Like, it's absurd that USC is in the position they are in the run game and still, like, in as good a spot as they are.
It's beyond beneficial, like lucky, all those things, to have him on the roster right now. You lose your two big transfer running backs. That should kill your season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, here's this
this redshirt freshman walk on.
Yeah. Incredible.
Somebody said something about scoring too early. That may be the case. Brian says SC scored too early. Illinois all over again. Well, we shall see. Sean says that touchdown belongs to McCree like 40%. That block was choice. Absolutely. I think that is, the ability of your tight ends to block in the run game is so underrated and overlooked in football. It really is. And I don't think it's a coincidence that, on the nights when USC's tight ends have a good blocking night, like that's when USC has a big running night. You know, everybody's got to do their part. Ilim says, I mean, after that last sequence, we just needed to score. Yeah. To me, this was a different scenario than the Illinois one in terms of like, the Illinois one, you were at the end of the game and you just need to run out the clock. This one, yeah, get into the end zone. Also, they ran. It's not like they took a shot to the end zone. 18 on the play clock, 1st and 10. It's also not an ideal situation for Northwestern unless they break a big run. Because
this isn't their offense.
No, their offense is not a quick strike offense. They want to run the ball. And they can do, unless they break a big run, they're going to run out of time. Preston Stone is not the quarterback who leads you on a 1-minute drill, you know? So, we'll see. I mean, USC, if USC gets a stop here, they're still in a situation where you come out of the half and...
how long do we have to look at Aaron Donald for?
Forever. Northwestern can still score and tie coming out of the half, but...
Has he visited Dr. Valentina Pumpin? Those teeth are like bright, man. Is there a streaker on the field? Like why? Okay,
I don't know why that was taking so long. Caught? No. USC might get the ball back here. That would be big. Because even a field goal, if you could get down the field and get a field goal, that's huge. Oh.
I think he got the toe down, didn't it? I mean,
Well,
he didn't catch the ball, but like...
yeah, he got the toe down.
It was crazy he got the toe down.
All right, 13 on the play clocks, 3rd and 6. We're going to run it now. There you go. Good D, DeCarlos. USC gets... This is great, too, because they threw the ball, so it's... USC gets the ball back with about a minute to play, and they still got 2 timeouts. You can easily get down and find a way to get a field goal here. Good blitz.
It's a perfect time for a cover 0. It's against Preston Stone, who's not super comfortable in the backfield.
Yes.
You know, just force him to throw it.
Okay, Mackay, fair catch it.
Two, 3 and outs, the last 2 drives.
Mm-hmm. These are a big 57 seconds. You score. And again, I don't want to be talking about this when USC is playing Northwestern on a Friday night, but you score in this sort of shootout. You've flipped the flipped who's serving, basically. $23 on the play clock. I'm going to run it here. Going. What? Miscommunication?
It's got to be.
It was weird.
You think it was a...
Well, he threw outside and Tanook cut inside, so... Discord is popping right now, guys. All right, 20 on the play clock. Jacoby got caught up. All right, that's fine. Now, don't take your time too much here. Be classic for a Lincoln Riley offense to take forever. Nope, they got it. Oh, my Ava just threw the ball away. No. Well, all right.
It would have been incredible, but don't even take the risk on this. Just throw it away. Just throw it away.
He almost has this.
He really does. Like and Mackay and Jacoby being so good at going up and getting the ball helps.
Yeah.
Encourage Mayava to do these kind of things, but just throw the ball away, man.
Yeah. It's more commercials. Yeah. As Widow says, our best defender has been Mayava. Oh, dear. Lauren says Tanook has also gone up and got the ball a few times this season. Yeah, Tanook is good for one of those every game. One of those just like 50-50s, just go up and get it. I mean, that would have been an incredible catch, but also like that's the kind of catch that this is why you want, NFL receivers on your team, which is what USC has. But you can't always, sometimes they can't come down with the incredible catch. It happens. Here comes the punt. Fair catch. Sean asked, does Northwestern's interception touchback fumble count towards their all-purpose yards? It should. Shouldn't it?
No.
No?
All-purpose yards is only an offensive stat. So those are not.
So interception.
Those are still
yards.
Defensive yards. Like fumble returns and interception returns are listed as a defensive stat. It's not on the offensive side, even though you have become the offense. You know what I mean?
Huh. The USC's punt team gets the weirdest freaking flags. Alberta says we throw jump balls to everybody not named Lane. I mean, this is fair. The only jump balls that Lane has had to catch is the ones that have been a little too high for him tonight, and he's caught them. So, not really asking Lane to do the contested stuff. There's a tackle. What? Oh, did Cam get injured on that? Shit. I do not like this. All right, Michael, so all-purpose running on like CFB stats includes interception returns.
Wait, does it?
Yep.
Huh.
I think you're thinking total offense.
Well, no. Okay, because yards from scrimmage is just rushing and receiving. I thought all-purpose was rushing, receiving, and special teams.
All-purpose is rushing, receiving, punt return, kick return, interception return.
Oh, didn't realize that. Okay, fair enough. Stand corrected.
So I would imagine the answer is yes. I think they would get the interception return yardage counted.
The weird thing is, in stat broadcast, it's not there because for some reason, stat broadcast is listing that pick as a fumble.
It was definitely a pick. Although the play resulted in a fumble, so maybe they have a hard time.
Maybe there's some sort of like
inputting it.
there might be like a tech issue of having double turnover.
Yeah, you can't have an interception and a fumble on the same play.
But like in the defensive stats, there's an interception, and in my obvious stats, there's an interception. But like, there's no yardage in here for it.
Are we gonna get another commercial break?
Yeah, they needed 12 per half, and they've only had 10.
Out of pocket with RG3. There are so many fake jerseys in this crowd that they're showing.
It's very upsetting. It is so freaking upsetting.
There is so much going on in this.
What is the caution tape?
I don't understand. Gen Z. Who knows? The worst part is that man probably picked up that caution tape from the floor on his way to the game. 16 on the play clock. That's a good tackle in the open field by Braylon Shelby. Did somebody take another timeout? Can we stop? Can we stop? I swear to God. This has been the longest 16 seconds of my life.
The crazy thing is the first quarter was 33 minutes.
It was so fast.
And now we're at 7:40, so like we've literally made up all the time.
What are we doing? Is that Jacoby in there?
The fake jersey looks so freaking
it's
funny.
So funny. Alberta says that kid covers USC. That's so wild. Sean, dude looked like he would be cast as SC quarterback in a CW show. And then they run. And then they run.
Fumble. Recovered fumble.
The only fair thing would be for them to fumble in USC to get time left on the clock and then throw a Hail Mary that scores. Like, this is so
untimed down because of a face mask or something.
I don't even know. All right, we need to liberate the dogs, and I need to eat more fish and chips or something, and make another drink. This game has been drunk. I don't have halftime thoughts. This is ridiculous. All right, everybody. We are back for the second half of USC's very absurd game with Northwestern on this Friday night. Yeah. Brian,
Carl's Jr. going full back into the early 2000s
if
stuff.
it doesn't get all over your face, it doesn't.
Well, no, it was the biggest, the biggest possible burger for the smallest possible price, or whatever that's the name of the burger or something like that. The biggest burger for the smallest price or something.
Gotcha.
Can't call it the $6 burger anymore, you know.
Nope. Or the $5 footlong. They've been lost to time. Brian says this level of play is not going to work at Autzen or versus Iowa or UCLA. I am now becoming vaguely concerned that Iowa's offense could score a lot on this USC defense. If Iowa comes in and just says, we're going to run the ball. We're just going to run the ball. Trojans fan 88. So that was a half, I guess. Hey, USC's in the lead. So we should be grateful for the little things. Do I feel good about this performance? No. Sean asks, Alicia, does the Mass Effect TV show do anything for you? Okay, I had heard that it was coming. I haven't heard anything about it since. So do we have any more information or it's on Amazon? If it was Apple TV, I'd be all about it, to be honest. So I like the world of Mass Effect. I think in the right hands, it could certainly do something for me. I'm not going to necessarily get very invested in it until I see what they bring to the table. I think we are in the golden age of, like, video game adaptations, but it is still about, like, the skill of the showrunner, directors, producers, writers, etc. So I don't know. Like I said, if it's Apple TV, I trust it implicitly. Like, Apple TV has nailed everything. Amazon, they're pretty. I mean, they're serious when they do it. They certainly invest. I'll give them that. But I haven't really gotten into Amazon shows as much as Apple TV shows. Sid Irish, USC having lots of trouble stopping the run. Gotta do something. We are in week 10? 11? Are we that far?
I think it's 11.
We're in week 11, and gotta do something.
You talk about Iowa running all over this defense. I still can't imagine a world in which Iowa's offense does anything. I'm looking at Iowa's rushing game log. And there's some good gems in there. 245 yards against Penn State, 210 yards against Wisconsin, 201 against UMass, 310 against Albany. Okay, we're going to ignore Albany and UMass, take those right away. The two other 200-yard games are Wisconsin and Penn State, two teams that have 0 wins in the conference. However, SC's rush defense is really bad, right? Penn State is 90th in the country against the run, and Wisconsin's pretty good, 24th. So, fair enough.
Yeah. Sean says Amazon's Fallout was good, in my opinion. Amazon's Fallout was incredible. I was trying to think. I knew there was one show on Amazon that I was super invested in. Couldn't remember because my brain is shot. Fallout was absolutely incredible. If it's anything like Fallout, then I am all in. But one of the reasons I think I liked Fallout as much as I did was that I came in with completely no expectations. I didn't look it up. I didn't watch trailers. I didn't do anything. I just watched it, and it was like, this is incredible because these people love this game. And if they love Mass Effect, then maybe they'll do it right. But here's Northwestern's first play of the half and a missed tackle from Braylon Conley. Has anyone played Frostpunk 2? I have not. I'm currently playing Power Wash Simulator 2. It's my me time.
Nerd. Dork.
It's just very relaxing. 18 on the play clock, 2nd and 7. This is your general reminder to the chat that I am on a delay because I'm watching on Fubo. Also, the stream is on a delay, so it's just delay city over here. Oh my god. Delay city over here. So when things happen in the game, please don't spoil it in the chat. Out of respect for me and others in the chat who are also on delays. Everybody's watching this either on cable or streaming or whatever. We're all on different points of the game. So don't talk about what's happening. Don't react to it until I've had a chance to react to it. If you need to type it into the chat and then wait to click send, that would be what my recommendation would be. Just to try not to spoil what's coming because I want to enjoy watching the game. I want to have authentic reactions. You guys want to enjoy watching the game. There's a lot of people who are also on delay. So withhold your reactions until
I've had to
some time.
Withhold this me chiming in forever here.
Sorry.
What was Devin Tompkins doing on that run?
I do not know. There's a blitz. This is a heave and a half. It took forever to get there. All right, 3rd and 10. This is a good spot for USC's defense to be in. Forcing Northwestern into a must-throw. As likely an interception as it was a catch. $14 on the play clock. All right, they're running, which means they're going to go for it on 4th down, which means they're going to get it on 4th down. Trojans fan 88 says a nice play by 22 should have been offensive PI. I thought that there was a grab there for sure. Not surprised it wasn't called, but 29 on the play clock. 4th and 3. USC defense notoriously bad on 4th down. Let's see if they can get a stop. Are they just faking this out though? Like they might be testing USC here. Nope, they're not running a play. They are not running a play. Nope. Percy Jones says the frustrating part about this team is even though they often have better athletes, you can always expect them to punch down. That is true. This is also why I'm not extending a lot of patience to this team. I get that this team does not have top 5 talent. Maybe even not top 10 talent. Oh, I get that. There are certainly gaps. There are talent gaps between USC and Ohio State. But you can't tell me there's a talent gap between USC and Indiana. You can't tell me there's a talent gap between USC and Illinois. You know? So that's where my judgment comes from. It's like, yes, I understand patience. Yes, I understand needing a better roster, but that's to compete for a championship, not to remain ranked throughout the season and win 9 games, 10 games.
I'm going to go over the top 10 teams in FEI.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no? Better roster than USC. Ready? Oklahoma.
Push.
A&M.
Better.
Tech.
Probably better because they've invested so much.
Notre Dame.
Push.
Alabama.
Better.
Georgia.
Better.
Utah.
Worse.
Oregon.
Better.
Ohio State.
Better.
Indiana.
Worse.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Also, you look at the tier of the next teams from 11 to 15. I think you make the argument that SC has a push or better than all of those rosters. Ole Miss, Miami, Vandy, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
SC is a better roster than Iowa and Vandy, for sure. Ole Miss and Miami, I guess that's however you want to argue it.
Yeah. The point is just that, like, where USC should be competing at is not where USC has been competing at.
Right.
USC is not losing games because they don't have the talent. I mean, if they lose at Autzen, we could, depending on how that loss happens, we could certainly pass that off as, well, talent gap. That's fine. You can argue that going to South Bend any year, USC and Notre Dame probably are push, if not better or worse, but they tend to have rosters that should be competitive against each other. Going on the road, I understand losing. That's fine. But this team's problem is not competing with the Notre Dames of the world. It's competing with the Illinois. There's a punt inside the 10. Trojans Fans 88 says, I usually judge talent by how many guys would be NFL ready in the next year or so. I get that, but being NFL ready is also a reflection of your development, your talent development. So, like, if USC doesn't have NFL ready guys, is that not a reflection of USC doing something wrong compared to, like, Indiana, who is certainly not recruited better than USC, who has not invested more than USC? 18 on the play clock from the 9. There's over the middle to Mackay. Love that. $20 on the play clock. Here's a play action. Middle. There's Lemon. Up on his feet. Big gain. Big gain. That's great. Well, if USC scores here, this game is starting to look a lot less scary because, wow, that gap there. Northwestern will find it very difficult to play catch up now. Sid says USC safety 19 is a future NFL player. Yeah, I mean, Bishop Fitzgerald, the NC State transfer, has done really well. I think he's real. Here's a nope. Mackay, Lemon, Jacoby Lane, Jaden Mayava, all NFL players. Elijah Page, theoretically NFL player. Justin Taunu'u certainly aspires. On the defense, Bishop, Kamara Ramsey. Christian Pierce could get there. Eric Gentry for sure. Obviously, his size and his position is an issue, but Gentry for sure. Like, the point is that, like, USC has a handful of NFL potential players on east side of the ball. Most teams don't have that at all. Like, most teams have, like, one guy. Trojans fans brings up Jakeem Stewart, certainly certainly aspires to NFL. Obviously too young, but Lake McCree, I don't I think he could certainly make an NFL roster under the right circumstances.
Talent-wise, yes. Body-wise, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough with tight ends, but
Coming off the injuries, that's
yeah. There's Mayaba. There you go, Jacoby. I think Walker Lyons and Joey Olsen certainly at the tight end spot would aspire to getting to NFL level. I think Cam Crawford would aspire to getting to NFL level. You know, Devin Tompkins probably isn't there, but that's a great catch. 19 on the play clock. Like Marcellus Williams coming in as a recruit would have aspired to that. So,
chat, let us know if you can hear Badger chomping on this yak cheese. 'Cause if you can, it's annoying.
well,
we
better
can
to
move
hear the little crunches than to hear him whining.
No, I agree. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, Waymo and Eli Sanders certainly will be and get looks in the NFL. Tanook at this stage, you know, who's gonna count out the idea of Tanook Hines getting there? And he's obviously a true freshman. We're not gonna go there, but hell, King Miller at this point.
Honestly, I'm sort of done projecting guys to the NFL because dudes I thought would be something haven't been.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Like, I didn't think that IPM would be an NFL guy.
No.
He perfectly playable starter in the NFL. Totally good.
Yeah. There you go, King. I guess my point is that if you look at USC like recruiting, USC's team talent on like 24/7 is top 15. USC doesn't play like a top 15 team. All right, 3rd and 7, 27 on the play clock.
Marcus in the chat says we all have dogs. We get it. Don't worry about it.
I legitimately
swear to
thought he
God,
was talking about
I
USC's
thought it was
roster.
the roster. Yeah.
Same. Steve asked, what if Noah played DT? I mean, is there anyone on USC's roster who can just be a nose tackle? Like, USC is dying for a nose tackle, like a true nose tackle. If Noah wants to, like, if you can make Noah that guy, Micah Benuelos, I don't know, somebody. It's anybody. Even a field goal here, though, is pretty big in terms of putting this out of reach for Northwestern. Still very early, but... Commercials are so weird. Iliam asked when it says, when you are asking linemen to switch sides, you already have more problems than you can solve. Yeah. Yeah.
I really like Eli, but it is amazing to me that, like, he has so many commercials and stuff,
yeah.
Given that his whole personality is dryness.
Which
I appreciate. I thoroughly appreciate.
I certainly don't need Eli Sanders, like a bald Eli Sanders.
Eli Manning?
Eli Manning on my TV screen.
Yeah. I guess my point is there's a ton of charismatic stars that I would think would have more commercials.
Yes, than Eli. Yeah.
But, like, I enjoy that Eli has found his way there. Okay, why are we getting
a million? Oh, wait, this
winks?
is the Tubi one.
Oh, here it goes.
Oh, God, this looks so bad. Sideline 2? This is a sequel?
Can we talk about how it looked like AI to me?
It looked so bad.
Like it looks so low quality, but like high def at the same time. You know what I mean?
All right, for the record, USC has 3 5-stars and 38 4-stars on the roster. Let's see. Who can we compare to? Texas Tech has 1 5-star and 20 4-stars on the roster. Washington has 0 5-stars, 18 4-stars on the roster. Iowa has 13 4-stars on the roster. Utah has 13. Louisville has 15.
Eliam in the chat says we need a pod about that show. What if we did a watch along for like?
What
one
if we did a
episode?
watch along to the Tubi original?
Is it a
whatever,
movie or a TV show?
I don't remember what the name was. Oh, catch! Wow, what a touchdown! Wow. Okay, there's the jump ball. Who was in the chat asking for the jump ball to Lane? That's PI too. What a freaking catch. Did he ever go down? Did he get a foot down?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a little weird how he almost rolled on him, but I think there was a foot down, yeah.
Sidelined to, intercepted. I think we got to do a watch along to this, Michael. Like, I'm not even joking. I think we got to do a watch along to this.
Do it for the content.
For the people, for the content, yeah. Hey, I've been doing a lot of like watching reaction videos of people like watching movies and stuff like that. Like, I know the tricks of the trade to how to not get copyrighted.
What, flip it backwards? Or that little line that people put in
No,
the middle?
you just have to like cut. You have to make enough cuts and like have enough commentary.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll like put the change where they're like how they're displaying the show itself. So like sometimes it'll be full screen and like you're up in the corner, and then sometimes it'll be just like a box in the middle and like just different cuts. It's just a lot of cuts. Percy Jones asks, you guys think Tubi SC defense has a better run defense? I mean, it's entirely possible. It is entirely possible. All right, back to this, just to prove a point. Vanderbilt, 12 4-stars on the roster, 0 5-stars. Virginia, 6 4-stars on the roster, 0 5-stars. Illinois, 7 4-stars on the roster, 0 5-stars. Indiana, this is one I've been waiting for. 0 5-stars, 7 4-stars on the roster. BYU, 0 5-stars, 8 4-stars on the roster. Cincinnati, 0 5-stars, 5 4-stars on the roster. I'm just saying, like, these teams are ranked and playing well and, you know, competing.
By the way, the goal line fade on 3rd and goal from the 8. I would much rather have it on 3rd and goal than on 1st and goal.
Yes. Yes, I agree. Because, like I said, remember what my point was last time? Like, at least on 3rd and 8, if you get a PI, you're getting your money's worth, you know? New set of downs.
Yeah, and And it's not that I don't want it on first. Like, I'm always for taking a chance on first down rather than anything else. But on first down, first and goal from the 8, that just feels like a run situation to me. And if you do throw the fade, well, then you're committing to running on second down. And I don't like a spot where you're committing to, where you basically have to do one of those two things. Well, you have to do something. You know what I mean? Yeah, look at Mayava. He's definitely seen Doctora Valentina Pumpin.
Marcus says, so if we blame Riley for the bad defense, the only reasoning for that is he doesn't run physical practices, or is it the style of offense that our defense plays against every day? Honestly, Marcus, I don't know. I think there are a lot of different things that could be part of it. I think that physical practices may be something. Maybe there's something to that. But I kind of doubt that a little bit, considering this catch so good. Considering just that, like, if it was just the way USC practices, like, too many of these coaches that USC has had have been good coaches elsewhere. That it's like, do they just roll over and let Riley, like, tell them not to do the things that have worked in the past for them? I think perhaps one of the underrated things is that Riley might not be good at judging what good defensive coaching looks like, particularly when it comes to scheme, game plan, evaluation of players, all of that kind of stuff. So, like, if you do the CEO coach thing, then your skill needs to be identifying coaching talent and being able to, like, have a good quality control system. And I think that Riley's defensive quality control, there is clearly something lacking. So there's probably a practice element. There's probably how they go up against the offense in practice. There's probably a game plan element. There's probably an evaluation element. There's probably all of those kinds of scheme, everything like that. 2nd and 8. PI, goddamn. So it says physicality is built in the offseason. And this is the other thing. It's like USC has hired strength and conditioning coaches that are, have not been accused of being soft before they came to USC, Like, Trumaine Carroll is supposed to be an incredible strength and conditioning coach. So it's like, Lawrence asks, where was Grinch a good coach? He was really good at Washington State. Like, really good at Washington State. He was good at Ohio State, but that was a co-DC situation, so it's hard to give him credit. And he was better at Oklahoma than he was at USC, so he at least had one good year at Oklahoma. There you go. That's a big play from Conley.
So you make up for the PI.
Yeah.
The PI was unfortunate because
it was just one of
it was a PI because he impeded the receiver's ability to get where the ball was. I don't think it was because of the hand fighting, because the hand fighting was really even. He got in the way. You know what I mean?
Marcus asked if 22 was playing well. Did he start? I assume that Marcellus Williams started opposite to Carlos Nicholson, but I'm going to be honest.
Starters were Marcellus Williams and DeCarlos Nicholson at corner.
Yeah.
But he's short. This guy's short?
He looked short, but I wonder if Marcellus is maybe injured or something, because we haven't really seen him. That's a catch. Checking Twitter to see if there's anything about Marcellus Williams coming out. Yeah, Shotgun said Braylon Conley starts the second half at corner in place of Marcellus Williams, who got banged up in the first half. He was in the medical tent.
You
Marcellus
notice
was.
how the Northwestern center snaps the ball at a diagonal?
They're calling that short? What?
I thought he definitely got
I
this.
thought he got it easily. Huh. I mean, I'd go for this if I'm Northwestern. You can't not. I'd like to see a replay of that. Okay, I'm going to pay attention to this center. Easily got it. For the record, I switched to a black Russian, which is just a white Russian with cola instead of cream.
Is that just the bulldog without the crate?
Essentially, yeah. 16 on the play clock, 1st and 10 across the 50. Here's G-Day getting close. Also, Nicholson has done a lot better job in the last few games of being a reliable corner.
He's validated the Notre Dame game because I thought he was really good in the Notre Dame game, and he's validated that since.
Yeah.
Mind you, they haven't faced the level of talent that they did against Notre Dame.
No, but they weren't exactly facing insane talent, and they were getting absolutely demolished earlier in the season. So it's nice to see him settle down. And Conley's doing pretty well for getting thrown in. Good D. More Conley. Conley's fired up. I'll take it.
It's Darryl Rideau.
Iliam says, how is a corner our best run defender? No, the quarterback is the best run defender, Iliam. But yeah, he's tackling better than most of the linebackers. Third and 7, 15 on the play clock. Can USC get off the field? If I'm Northwestern, I run here. I run out of time. Yep. Yeah, I love USC doing turnabout's fair play. The late substitution thing. You make my dreams come true. Need to reset my stream. Why is this feeling like the Michigan State or Purdue game where it was like...
This is the Michigan State game. It's the Michigan State game in the sense that there's two options here. You hold them to no points on this drive. You score on the following drive. You've put them away. You then have the chance to, maybe you end up pulling away big time, or maybe, you just take the foot off the gas and you still win by a few scores, whatever it is.
Cover.
Or you give up points here and then you commit the turnover like you did against Michigan State and then, suddenly, everything goes to hell. This is a big pivotal point in that sense.
Yep. It just feels like a very unsatisfying 2-touchdown lead. I'm not trying to be like...
Well, the offense hasn't looked like a hot knife through butter, per se. Like they've moved the ball very well and all that kind of stuff, but like they're not explosively moving the ball in massive chunk plays down the field per se.
Not running the ball particularly well.
Yeah, at the same time, like the defensive performance, the last 4 drives, Northwestern has really done nothing. There's a world in which you hold them to 14 points for the rest of the game, and you can sit back and say, well, you know, they gave up 2 really bad touchdown drives to begin the game, but then after that, you didn't give up anything and all that kind of stuff. But like, you have to finish that off. You know what I mean? Because
it's like the Nebraska game where it's like the defensive performance was not passing the eye test, but in the second half, they certainly got the stops that they needed.
Right.
And the difference here is that I think USC's offense is certainly more capable of
it was kind of
the
same in the Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
They were the defense against Notre Dame was better in the second half.
Yeah. So I'll give that to Danton Lynn. It does feel like the last few games, the second half adjustments have worked to a degree. 3rd and 7, 18 on the play clock. Here comes a blitz. Oh.
Like I said, they were due to give up a big long pass. The ball looks so ugly coming out of Preston Stone's hand.
I swear to God, it is ugly. Marcus says, please explain LA fans. I live in Idaho. I grew up in NorCal, been an SC fan since birth. Why can't we ever fill the Collie? That trip. Yeah. LA fans, I will say, first and foremost, LA fans are attracted to winning. The more you win, the more people will give you their time. So if you're not winning a ton, then you're not the hot ticket in town, and people are not going to put as much effort or money into attending your games. When Pete Carroll was at his height, the Coliseum was filled to max capacity, even beyond what is the max capacity of the Coliseum right now. At the same time, like Pete Carroll era, a weeknight game like a Thursday or Friday game would have also drawn fewer people. It's just sort of.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
Well, I think there would have been a late arriving crowd and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but they would have sold out or whatever.
It would have still sold out because like there were so many season ticket holders back then. Also, I've talked about this before, but like I didn't think that the NFL coming back would affect SC's attendance, but I think it has, because I think there were people that got season tickets in the Pete Carroll era because there were no NFL teams, and these are not necessarily casual fans. Like, that's not what I'm saying, but like these were the guys that were maybe Rams fans, right?
Yeah.
Or they were Raider fans, or they were Charger fans, probably mostly Rams and Raiders fans, if we're being honest. And they got season tickets when SC was good, and then SC stops being good, sort of simultaneously with the NFL coming back. And then, so if you're a football fan, it's really easy, while SC is not doing great, to also get in with the NFL games.
The other thing is just tickets to sporting events are not cheap. And like you said, like if you're spending your money on Rams season tickets, you might have to choose one or the other. You might have to choose, am I going to get Kings season tickets or USC season tickets? Am I going to get Dodger season tickets or USC tickets? Am I going to get Lakers or Clippers tickets, or am I going to get USC tickets? And it's easier to justify those other teams spending that investment if they're winning and USC isn't. So USC hasn't really given people really good reason to stick around with their tickets or buy tickets one-off to make a day of it. The other thing is just everything has gotten more expensive in terms of just the cost of going somewhere, parking, paying for food in the state. Like it's an expensive outing. You can't just, take your kids and not blow $500, which like there's a sack,
I also think that like this is a cultural thing. Like LA fans are not rabid in the same. When the SEC says it means more,
it does.
Like it actually, like it does.
Yes.
It really does.
Well, and this comes down to the thing that is always said is that there's like a lot to do in LA compared to if you're in,
there's a lot to do, but there's also, I make this point every single time. There's 15 million people.
Yes, but those
within a 2-hour drive.
No, but that's the problem. Is it's a 2-hour drive for those 15 million people. They have 1,000 other things that they could be doing, whether it's concerts or football or basketball or soccer or whatever. There's just a lot of interests that can be met, and in that sense, you lose the communal element of like, if you're in Norman, everybody is an Oklahoma fan. Your friends are Oklahoma fans, so you're going to be an Oklahoma fan, and it's going to become like a communal community kind of thing that draws people in. Where in LA, you don't need to have, like, USC isn't going to be the connection that everybody in your friend group is doing, At least not to the scale that it does in Tuscaloosa. I
think that's a good point. Also, like the thing that I mentioned, the 2-hour drive thing. Look at Auburn, for instance. Auburn sells out every game, right? They love to talk about how like they have an issue of like people not going to games. They're talking about students.
Yeah.
But Auburn fans go to every game, right? The city of Auburn is like what? 30,000 people. People travel 2, 3, 4 hours from Georgia, from Alabama, all over little podunk towns in Alabama to get to the game. So that's why I bring up the 2-hour thing. Mm-hmm. Like it is way easier for SC to have a complete stadium full of fans get to the game than it is in a small little town.
Right, but in that small little town, if 50% of the people there are Auburn fans, then you have more incentive to be an Auburn fan. We're in LA.
For sure.
Yeah, like it's 50-50 between UCLA and USC, but like how many of those are season ticket holding people who go to any of those games? It's just a different culture, sporting culture. It's just a different sort of I mean, it's the same thing with high school football. Like, there are places in Texas where high school football is the entire, like, Friday night, town shut down, and the only thing that anybody is doing, everybody is at the football game. In Los Angeles, people aren't talking about going to the Narbonne game, It's not the central.
They're like winless and ass.
It's not the central part of our culture.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. It's a cultural thing.
You don't go to the Notre Dame high school football game, unless you are related to somebody on the team or you go to the school.
Exactly.
Where like in towns in Texas, like you could be completely unrelated, and that's what you do on a Friday night.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've heard people talk about how. It's weird to go to a high school football game if you don't know anyone that's playing because like
you feel
why
like
are you an adult watching teenagers play like which is I get it, but also like nobody is thinking that in Pflugerville, Texas. You know what I mean?
It's just what everyone does.
Yeah.
It's the event where, how many events are happening on a given day in Los Angeles? It's just different. I'm not making an excuse for USC not having sellout crowds because I think I agree with you that like there should be sellout crowds, and LA fans should be less dependent on winning to be a true like sports town. But that's the reality of it. The reality is that you're not going to have a full stadium unless you're winning. You are not Nebraska, where you will sell out even when you're terrible.
I think the winning comes into effect when it goes down to choosing between things. There's also the other factor, which I totally understand, of like you pay with your wallet, right? Like you speak with your wallet, right? Mm-hmm. If my team is not performing well, I thoroughly understand not spending $1 and all that kind of stuff. At the same time, is that going to stop me from going to a game? Probably not.
I just think about like my family, right? I'm one of 5 kids. There are 7 people in my immediate family. And we're a sports family. Like the only people who aren't interested in sports in my family are my mom and my little brother. So, there's 5 of us who are sports people. 2 of us are big USC fans, me and my dad. One of us is Liverpool soccer is his number one, my brother Carlos. My brother Joaquin is a Rams and Notre Dame fan. My brother Jose is a Raiders fan. Like, if we were born and raised in Norman, Oklahoma, we would all be Sooners fans. And it would be our family thing. Mm-hmm. And it would just be a thing that we did. Where here, it's just like, USC isn't my family thing. Except it's for me and my dad,
Well, I always think about this with my uncle. My uncle is a UCLA season ticket holder. He has been for 30, 40 years at this point, right? He has told me before, like, wouldn't it be great if there was just one team and we were just all one, like,
yeah.
And I think, yes, because if there was just one team, my dad and my uncle would
then have
season
something
tickets.
To bond over. Yeah.
And like they would have
go
gone
to games every week.
They would have gotten 2 tickets. And then at some point it would have been 4 tickets. You know what I mean? And then we all would have gone. We all would have done stuff. Like every single Saturday we would have been doing more family things because, we're going to watch the game at this place or whatever together or whatever. Like, yeah, there would have been more of those things.
Yeah. But that's not the reality in LA. And also, like, I have somebody in the chat, I forget who was talking about, like, LA is also a city of transplants. So, there's, 1 million people, but how many million of those were born and raised in LA and have LA sports allegiances? Like, there are Steelers bars and Packers bars and Vikings bars. There are, places where Notre Dame fans and Michigan fans and Ohio State fans, like, that live in LA are, that's their thing. It's just, it's a totally different city than most college cities. And that just explains it.
Yeah.
22 on the play clock.
I think it also, like, I would talk about it being like a West Coast thing. And I think that it also doesn't help that the schools, Jesus, like the Pac-12 schools, right? Mm-hmm. Almost all of them are urban campuses. Mm. And like Washington State doesn't have trouble drawing crowds because only show in town, right? Like there's nothing else to do in the Palouse, right? Like,
yeah.
Oregon has a lot of people in part because they're good, but also because it's like a smaller town. Like the city of Eugene revolves around Oregon athletics.
Yes.
Right. Whereas Tempe, as they would say in Arizona, is just one little piece of all of the Phoenix metro area. It's one little piece of Maricopa County.
That's a first down.
You know what that looked like? It looks like Badger when I grab Badger's paw and like see how long he's going to take until like he looks over and like tries to nip at me or something.
Yep. Brendan asks, they're in Japan. Is it Friday back in the States? Yes, it is Friday night, 8:47 p.m. Brendan asks, does SC let all students buy tickets? ND guarantees all tickets students a chance, and the culture is obviously very supportive. There you go, King. There you go, King.
I think all students have the opportunity.
All students have the opportunity, and they are heavily discounted tickets, yes. Or at least they used to be heavily discounted.
The culture, I don't think the student culture has the fervor, in part because the student body is so diverse. And when I mean by diverse, I'm not talking about like the demographics, like per se, but also that people are coming from all over the country. People are coming from different countries. It's such a big school that there's a wide range of majors. I was in art school, the Roski School of Fine Arts, there's like 2 people in my entire school at SC that were sports people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that it's a big school. It's not like when you don't get the small townness and you don't get like not everybody grew up on SC football. The vast majority did not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But also the student culture, when I was a freshman, the student culture was to go to games and the student section was always full because USC was winning. And by the time I finished at USC, the student culture was no longer that you didn't have to get there 4 hours before the game in order to get a seat.
Yeah.
Because USC wasn't winning.
Yeah, in some ways the SC student section is too big. But you need it to be.
If you're winning, it needs it needs to be that big, and if you're not winning, then Jeffrey says I went to SC from 04 to 08, and everyone went to the big games. Yeah, like my first two years at USC, it was you couldn't, if you didn't get there and wait in line for several hours, you got a seat in the corner of the end zone, like way back in the corner of the end zone. Oh no, that's PI.
Oh
yeah, bailout. I mean, this whole game is bailouts.
What?
I do not know what that was. That was
the weird thing is the way Brian Jackson stopped on a dime. I'm like, oh, it's a flea flicker, but then he like went on to run. I'm like oh no, it's not a flea flicker.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it is a flea flicker. Yeah,
did he not realize that it was a pass?
I feel bad for the defender. Like it's PI because it's like the Conley play we talked about a little bit ago. Like the defender's just in the wrong position to impede the Jacoby Lane there, but like it's not like he did anything. Nice.
There's Mackay. Love that. It's slightly similar to what USC did against Nebraska to score. Creative play calling at the goal line. I like it. Iliam said,
I wonder if this is a 2-point conversion play.
It could be. That's fun. I like that. Iliam says, when I was there from 96 to 2000, you could show up at halftime and sit third row. Yeah. Yeah, by 2011, I was not having to get to the student section hours before to get a good seat. If I got there an hour ahead of time, I was, in the first 10 rows near the 50-yard line.
Whereas, and this makes me sound lame, but I think it goes to what we're talking about, though. I never had this issue because I never sat in the student section.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up on SC football. My dad was a season ticket holder. So I went to games with my dad, even when I was a student. And if that wasn't the case, I absolutely would have gone to games in the student section, but like I didn't need to because I was like the rarity.
I also think that like going to sporting events is as a concept has changed a lot in recent years. It's harder for teams to entice people to get out to go to games because of the expense, because it is so convenient to stay at home and watch on your 70-inch TV, going to a game even as a casual, like, is a large time investment. So, yeah.
By the way, this is Jacoby Lane's career high
Is it?
in yardage and ties him for the most catches at 10.
He's had a really good game.
He's at 10 catches, 100 and... Sorry.
That's Mackay,
That's
yeah.
Mackay, yeah.
Jacoby's at 7
I'm
for
an idiot.
74.
Yeah, you're right. 10 catches, a buck at 52 for Lemon. Jacoby Lane's at 774. Yeah, you're right.
Greg says, great USC is winning. I was asleep because I was trying to get over with getting slightly sick. Well, Greg, I think you have come at the right time to not feel sicker. The start of the game was not exactly fun, but
Brendan says, how easy are the logistics? The logistics are like everything in LA. It depends on where. Wait, is this Mick Fleetwood?
Yeah, Mick Fleetwood performed with the band to start the game.
Oh, that's legit.
Yeah.
They haven't done that in like forever.
Yeah.
It like everything in LA, it depends on what your starting point is.
Like if we were going to go to a game, it
would be sort of a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass because either we're driving and then having to pay crazy for parking if we're not press, or having to park super far away and then walk.
If you're on the west side, it's super easy.
Or you take the subway, but in order to get to you have to do the orange line to the red line to the blue line. Like it takes you an hour and a half to get down there on the subway, if you're lucky. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass if you're coming from the valley. Like you said, if you're in
South Bay, it's easy.
South Bay, it's easy.
I guess the other logistics, if we're talking about logistics at the Coliseum, like people complain about long lines. I think people complain about long lines everywhere. That's just there
isn't a single stadium on the planet that does entry well. Greg asked, which game would you like to see, to travel to see a game out of state? I would love to go to Autzen, which I have not done. I'd love to go to...
We've been to Autzen.
Not been to Autzen. We have been outside of Autzen.
Outside of, yes. We've been to the stadium, not in the stadium. And yeah, I love Eugene. I could see myself living in Eugene. It's a cool
Eugene's
freaking
really
little
pretty.
city. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It like the whole vibe around campus seems awesome. So I would love to see what that's like on a game day.
I mean, there's Ohio State, Michigan, both would be places I'd want to go see. I mean,
by the way,
separate from the USC at all, I'd love to go to the Swamp.
I think Ohio State is a perfect comparison for the SC thing. It's in a large metro city, and it has it is in a state with a bunch of colleges in which most of their fans did not go to Ohio State. And they have no issue getting 100,000 people there. Mm-hmm. And in part because they're good. But even if they weren't good, I think they would still draw amazingly.
Well, they don't have two NFL teams in their city.
In the city, yes.
And they don't have a basketball or a baseball team.
Columbus proper, yes. No, that's fair. I mean, Austin is another good comparison again. But I guess you could say that's the same thing. Like
Austin has an MLS
Columbus
team,
is Ohio State, and Austin, sports-wise, is UT and Coda. Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Austin FC or whatever.
Brendan says, thanks for the responses. Congrats to the Trojans. Hope we mean the playoffs. Irish by 1,000,000. Thanks for hanging out. We've got a couple Notre Dame fans who are very cordial, and I actually one of my favorite things is that we tend to get opposing fans who are genuinely who are not trolling, who are, interested in having a real conversation. And I really like that we attract that kind of thing. So thanks for hanging
Greg says, wait, the Browns and Bengals not in their area. Okay, I would love data on this. What percentage of the crowd at Ohio Stadium for a game is from the Cleveland or Cincinnati metro area? I would guess it still would be a really good percent, like a really high clip. Columbus is big.
Columbus is 2 hours from Cincinnati.
Yes, exactly. So if you easily could be a Ohio State fan living in Cincinnati and have season tickets.
I have cousins who live in Dayton, and all right, that's a good stop. I have cousins who live in Dayton, which is literally right between Columbus and Cincinnati. They root for Ohio State, even though they have no connection to the school. I have never heard them say anything about the Bengals or the Reds. Now, maybe that's because they know I'm a college football fan, and so, that's a thing. But be curious to ask what the Dayton perspective is.
Sean mentions the Texas Stars being in Austin. I always forget that they're in Austin. This is one of my issues with, teams that are just named after a state.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, let's play a game. I'm gonna give you sports teams that are named after a state and tell me where they are.
Oh, God.
Colorado Rockies.
Denver.
Okay, that's an easy one, right? But, here's one. The Florida Panthers. Where are the Florida Panthers?
Why do I want to say Jacksonville?
No.
Where are they?
Fort Lauderdale.
That was going to be my next guess.
Well, technically Sunrise. But, practically Fort Lauderdale is where they are. The Carolina Panthers are in Charlotte.
That was going to be my guess.
But, Carolina is very ambiguous, right?
Well, if you said the California Angels back when,
yeah,
how many
California
people would be
Golden
able to say,
Seals?
Yeah.
Yeah. The New England Patriots are a prime example. For some reason, obviously I know that they're Boston's team, but in my brain, they're not Boston's team.
I don't know where Foxborough is, actually.
It's closer to Providence than it is Boston. The team flies in and out of Providence. But it's still a distant burb out of Boston, right? But when you name your team a region instead of a city, that's a risk you take, right? I bet you were a ton of people 10 years ago who did not know where the Golden State Warriors played.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside of California, obviously. But I bet you there were a ton of people that could not tell you.
Who wouldn't have known that it was San Francisco, yeah.
Oakland at the time.
Jason says, I would argue there are more half-empty games at Ohio State and Georgia than you probably realize. That's the other thing. We are hyper fixated on USC. This is why people get mad at the play calling at USC as though everyone isn't complaining about the play calling. People get mad at the refs as though it was like unique to USC, even though everyone is complaining about the refs. So it's also just like attendance is, I don't think it's particularly, like USC's attendance issues are certainly bigger than Ohio State or Georgia, but like there are a lot of other teams that don't draw sellout full crowds when they're playing, you know, whoever.
You and I talk about this all the time. Alabama fans and teams in the SEC bitching about their attendance is akin to Liverpool and Chelsea fans bitching about the atmosphere, because of tourists and how expensive their 38-pound tickets are.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Does King already have 100 yards? Yes, he does. 127 yards for King, 8.5 yards per carry. Kid's killing it.
He is on the thumbnail of the CarCast running through a guy who's trying to tackle him.
We love it. 7 on the play clock. Another handoff to King. He's so good.
My hot take here is not to give him another carry.
You would just... I think there's an argument to hand off to Brian Jackson.
Brian Jackson, Harry Dalton, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot afford to lose King Miller.
Look at that. Again, the tight end. Tight ends are so vital to your run game.
The game is practically won, right? Like,
yeah,
you cannot afford to have him roll an ankle.
Yeah, the announcer literally just said that. Yeah, Northwestern doesn't have the offense to come back from this, especially as USC's driving and is already in field goal range at this point. Brian Jackson? Yeah. I do not like that. Stinger?
I mean, speaking of the devil.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be his night. $12 on the play clock. They just keep handing off. Give Brian Jackson some run here. There's a comebacker to Mackay.
I don't know if it's the camera angle, but every time they throw
mask?
far side, I think they're throwing it away. Both Mayava and Preston Stone. And there just ends up being a dude over there.
Sean says tight end blocking has been so clutch today. Yeah. Lake McCree and Walker Lyons have both been really good. Really good today. Douglas asks, have they given Miller a scholarship yet? I imagine we will see a video when that happens. It is inevitable, though. The thing is, like, the timing on the scholarship.
There's no way he doesn't have it.
They probably can't give him a scholarship right now. Like,
I don't see why not.
For the next semester, they could give him a scholarship.
Could
they just give him a scholarship like today?
I don't see why they.
I don't know how that works.
Also, that he needs a scholarship for things like,
to get it to
food,
do training table and stuff.
Training table and all that kind of stuff.
8 on the play clock.
Training table, access to the nutritionist, all that kind of
stuff.
I
guess my thought is, if USC could give him a scholarship and they haven't, like, there's no reason for them to not have done it if it was possible.
Yeah, and they should have milked it with a video.
Oh, there will be a video. Absolutely. I apologize for being gross, but I cannot describe the scent of a badger fart. This dog, just like when he farts, it is thick. The air becomes thick. Lauren says Brian Jackson is not a great running back. I don't want to write him off. Oh, God. Jean-Ray Reed is down.
This is catastrophic if it's...
Well,
serious.
Killian O'Connor was practicing and warming up today, so I think theoretically... Oh, he looks... This
what
looks
do you mean?
bad.
Did he not tear his ACL?
No, it was not out for the season. I think it was probably something
more like
was it
a
MCL.
Sprain?
Probably like an MCL or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He was snapping to Hassan Longstreet in warm-ups. Lauren says, depending on his family's income, he might already be getting a nearly free ride. That may be the case, but like an athletic scholarship is also different in terms of sort of.
With an athletic scholarship, you get access to the team.
Would they deny him access?
No, I'm
to training table, right?
No,
if he didn't have a scholarship,
it's not necessarily that. Like I'm saying, you get access to like all the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Can walk-ons get access to the advisors, the student advisors, and the team paid tutoring and like all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how any of this works.
I don't know. Like I know that like walk-ons get something because that was the whole thing about the blue chip. What was that called? The blue chip? No, what was it? Operation.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
The thing about the briberies.
Oh, Varsity Blues?
Varsity Blues, yeah.
M. Diaz says Brian Jackson had turf toe. He's been injured most of the year. When he's healthy, he's great. Yeah, he looks like he's not hitting the hole super well, and that could certainly be something to do with the injury that he had. I think that's I am not ready to write him off. Is what I was gonna say. I am very curious when we come back from this commercial break if Killian O'Connor will be in a position to be able to play or if they're going to have to throw Micah Benuelos in there. Or I think it's Benuelos is the backup. At this point, I'd almost figure out how to have Alani Noah and Caitlin Miller in together. Are we barking? Is this starting now? You've been so good for so long. You've been so good and so quiet and so peaceful. And now we're in the barking phase. Jesus, that was violent. That's Killian, right? Yeah. Reed looked like he was in a lot of pain, though. I agree with John. At this stage, I know you don't want to take the starters out too early, but also I wouldn't have Mackay in there or Jacoby.
There's 4 minutes left in the game. This is not early.
There's Lake! That's
a bad pass.
That was a bad throw. But
great play design, though.
Yeah, that was a touchdown. Oh, was it tipped? Yeah, it's a bad throw. Easy touchdown if he puts it in front of him. Grant says Twitter's reporting that Reed walked off on his own. That's a good sign. RJ Abedia tweeted, Northwestern's first 2 drive, touchdown. Northwestern's last 6 offensive drives, punt, fumble, field goal, downs. So the defense has definitely responded. I will give them credit for that.
I'm scheduling the CarCast right now.
Uh-huh.
We're thinking 9:45?
Yeah, we can do 9:45.
All right. No guarantee the game's over by 9:30.
Yeah, we might see Hassan Longstreet. So yeah, this looks like it'll be a comfortable win. Definitely a good response from USC in the second half. Basically, everything after the interception, touchback, fumble madness has been all USC, which is sort of what I would expect considering the Northwestern's travel, the late kick. I was thinking about, like, what am I going to say on the CarCast? And I'm having trouble.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because, like, I don't feel particularly satisfied. But objectively, this is shaping up to be a pretty satisfying win. Like, the defense has responded. The offense has been pretty solid most of the way.
SC's up 21. The Northwestern lost by 20 on the road at a really good Tulane team, and lost by 20 at home to Oregon. So, like, score-wise, this checks out to, like, exactly what sort of this...
Yeah, Northwestern's a team that plays hard. Like, I wasn't expecting... There's a sack. I wasn't expecting USC to, like, blow them out by 40 points or whatever. This is a team that plays hard. I think my issue is just, like, there's still some eye test things that make me nervous. They ran into each other. MDS says, is this 5 picks in 5 straight games for Jaden? We can't do that at Oregon. Yeah, he's thrown a pick in each of the last 5, I think. At very least the last 4. And he had a couple more throws that I thought were a little bit sketch. But
I continue to say you can survive one pick. How did he not catch that?
Christian! Christian!
Also, was no one going to tell me that the score graphic went away?
Man. Jeez. Marcus says you don't feel satisfied. Who do you think we are? Didn't you have a 7-5? Yeah, I had a 7-5 because USC is a perennially underachieving team. I didn't pick USC to go 7-5 because I thought USC couldn't do better than 7-5. I picked USC to go 7-5 because I didn't expect USC to do better than 7-5. Because the USC that we've watched for the last 2 years, 3 years, has been the kind of team that goes 7-5. And the team I'm watching this year is honestly a team that I'm still not certain will go 9-3. And I'm judging them based on, in year 4 of the Lincoln Riley era, I shouldn't be, scraping to hope for 9-3. Huh? Sam Heward? How many games has Hassan Longstreet played? Is this like a don't burn his red shirt if we don't have to situation? There you go, Harry Dalton. That's Dalton, right?
Yeah, that's Dalton. I'm looking it up now. I think it's at least 4.
I think I'm going to...
It is 4.
I think I'm going to continue to be skeptical of this USC team until they sort of give me a reason to not. And I think that this game has been perfectly acceptable. It just hasn't given me a reason to not be skeptical of what this team is capable of. And I don't say that like trying to be a negative Nancy or anything like. I don't say that trying like to act like USC has failed or something like that. Like that's not where I'm at, and I certainly take no pleasure in it. I just I'm still waiting to see a USC that I feel can be competitive at the level that I think USC ought to be competitive at this point. You know.
So I am gonna. The more you look at all the numbers and everything, the more this just looks like a really good win. Like
I mean, it's a like, Friday night, you know.
Because I was talking about it on the preview, right? Like, if everything goes your way, if you use your talent advantage and you assert your will, you have killer instinct, all that kind of stuff, this is the game that you hope you win 45-14, right? Like, it's basically where SC is at right now, right? 38-17 with the chance to, they're just going to probably just run out the clock and nothing's going to happen. But, like, you look at the numbers, right? And I'll save most of this for the CarCast, right? But, like, SC on offense, 465 total yards at 7.6 yards per play. That is almost 100 yards more than any other Big Ten opponent has put on them. And in terms of yards per play, it is a full yard per play than any other Big Ten has done with them. And that's with an offensive performance that, like, it's not a bad offensive performance, obviously. But
no, I mean, I don't think it's a bad performance in any stretch.
It hasn't felt as easy for USC on offense as it did against, say, Illinois at times.
Yeah.
Or, but like that's a testament also to Northwestern.
No, Northwestern plays hard. I've said this going back to last week. Northwestern plays really hard defensively. I didn't expect them to roll over and die, and they haven't. I think USC has done a good job of putting up the points that they ought to put up, and I think the defense has absolutely responded after a rough couple of games. Yeah. I'm sorry, of drives. I think that my reaction to this individual game, I think says it just has so much more to do with Badger. Do not eat my toes, please. It has so much more to do with previous games and previous outcomes than anything that USC did or didn't do tonight.
Yeah, which is
not entirely fair. I acknowledge that like my feelings on this are probably not entirely fair. It's just that like I think that there remain eye test questions for me that haven't been answered.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I also think it's fair to point out that you said that it's sort of unfair in a lot of ways. Like we talked about it in the preview too. Like SC's road or was this us? I think this was us this morning.
There you go, Harry.
We got breakfast with our friend Kenny this morning, and I was mentioning the thing about SC's road struggles and all that stuff, and that like the road performances this year have been better. Been better than the last 2 years. If this year's road struggles were in a vacuum and completely devoid of any reference of the first 2 years, like I don't think we'd be talking about the road struggles. And like this game, devoid of any sort of overall macro 30,000 foot view, is basically like an A+ in several ways, right?
Yeah.
And so like at some point, like you just take your A+. Because like if perfection really is like the only criteria to have satisfaction, like you're going to be disappointed, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that again, like I said, like I think that my reaction to this performance has a lot more to do with my general sentiment around this team that like I'm not buying in yet. This game hasn't convinced me to buy in. I don't know that it could have convinced me to buy in.
What is in?
Buy in that USC will be
a playoff team?
That USC will beat Iowa and UCLA.
You haven't bought in that they will beat Iowa?
I have not bought in that they will beat Iowa. No.
Oh, I see, like, I think Iowa's very good and will be very tough. I think like 9-3 is just like that's the chalk answer right
9-3 is not chalk. 9-3 is the best case scenario. I think 8-4 is just as likely, if not more likely, than 9-3.
Let's save this for the CarCast.
Okay.
Because I don't think that's the case.
I think that's the case.
You still think they will be fortunate to beat Iowa and UCLA?
No, I don't think they will be fortunate to beat Iowa and UCLA. I think that this team is still capable of a clunker, especially against a team like Iowa.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah. Hey, USC won quite comfortably. We spent most of the second half talking about other stuff and not specifically the game. So like all in all, this was a good Friday night game. Most cases, this is a game that you absolutely take. Like I'm not taking anything away from this game. I had fun watching this game. A lot of really good performances from USC. So like I'm not saying this was a bad performance. I'm just saying like I'm still jury out.
Well, okay. I will save it for
We're
the
saving
CarCast.
it for the podcast. We'll
save it for the CarCast.
Okay.
Because like I'm with Marcus here. Like, it's okay to admit that this team is better than last year, and the trajectory of this team is moving forward, and positive. Like I agree. I do think that in a lot of ways, I don't know that the team is better than last year. They are better than last year, but like I don't know how much better than last year they are. Considering that the defense has taken a little bit of a step back, the offense has taken a big step forward.
The offense is taking a step forward, and the defense is like pat.
Half step back.
This defense is not worse than last year's defense. You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
John says Alicia has taken the pessimistic thing to an extreme level so she won't get hurt anymore. Yes! I don't want to get hurt! Don't make me get hurt.
You beat a big team by 3 scores at home.
Did you just hear Mayava's?
What did he say?
He asked about Mayava, the tackle, the fumble, and he said, I saw he had terrible ball security, so I thought I'd just take a shot.
Jesus.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. All right, let's. All
right, we'll be back in 20
get these dogs
in 15
settled out,
minutes.
and we'll be back. Yeah.
All right, y'all. See ya.
Thanks for watching, guys.